Good evening, everyone. Hello and welcome along to the Sports Corner Live. It was 102 days ago when Chelsea lifted the Champions League trophy. 102 days have passed since then. We saw Italy win the Euros. We've seen Man United, of course, with Ronaldo returning, a ridiculous transfer window with God knows how many players signing for different clubs. But this is it. The Champions League is back and the Goal Show is back as well. And joining us tonight, we are a little bit lower on numbers, but don't worry, Will and KL, they will be back at some point soon, probably for match day 2, match day 3, fingers crossed. We'll have to see. I think it's every 2 weeks the match days are, I think, something like that. But either way, joining us tonight for our 6 games, hopefully plenty of goals to come in them. We've got Rowan and we've got KD as well. How are we doing, lads? It's been a while.
Fantastic. It has. We've got some good games. I don't think I'm obviously no personal loves today. Obviously, KD had Man United, and that happened literally 5 minutes ago. But there's no Dortmund. I don't know who Josh's European side in this tournament is. But
I'm trying to think of one off the top of my head. Atalanta. Usually, I do like to have a bit of a bit of a good feelings for, but. Apart from that, I think, as you said, Rowan, it's a decent pick of games tonight. I would probably say the Wednesday games are better overall in terms of the matches that there are. But as you can see on the bottom of the screen, they're the games tonight. We'll go through them. We've got 10 minutes until kickoff. So what we will do, as we always do, is go through the comments and then we'll go through each game and the lineups before kickoff at 8 o'clock. But Daz is in the building. How are we doing, Daz? Hope you're good as always. Evening, Josh and lads. How are you all doing tonight? Doing very, very good indeed. How are you, Daz? Hopefully you're all good. And then... No, go for it, Rowan.
I thought you were asking how we are in a hole. I'm very good. I'm loving life.
He did say how you all doing. So, I mean, KD, how are you? Apart from the United
great,
situation.
Mate. Yeah, I'm fine. To be honest, I'm probably the least saltiest I've been for a while because it is only one game and the red card obviously kind of killed the game. But even with 10 men, shouldn't have got beat, but oh well.
It's early days as well. The thing is, it's better to lose, isn't it, on the first match day than later on when the pressure's on. Because, of course, depending on what happens in the game tonight between Villarreal and Atalanta, if they draw, for example, then it isn't as bad as maybe it could have been. But Carl, he's in the building as well. How are we doing, Carl? Welcome along as always. I hope you are all good. Let's go through the 6 games then. Some decent games as we said tonight. Start off with, of course, the actual groups, which we'll go through in detail a little bit more. You can see basically the bottom section of groups tonight are playing, and the top section of groups will be on Wednesday. Some decent games tonight. Some really nice, tasty looking groups across the board, as we said. We'll go through that bottom section of groups a little bit later on. Group C to H, of course. Rowan, you're looking very confused.
Have you seen Group C? Chelsea's new badge looks a bit different, doesn't it?
That is a fair point. I didn't even notice that when I got the picture earlier. Chelsea have changed to Sporting. I hope they haven't. Talking about Chelsea, that is the first game we'll talk about tonight. Defending champions, of course, Chelsea. They're coming up against Zenit St. Petersburg. If KL was in the building, no doubt KL would have covered this game for a certain reason. 3-4-2-1 tonight for Chelsea. Pretty much a very similar team to what we had last year, apart from one man, Romelu Lukaku, who's come to Chelsea, has been absolutely brilliant since signing from Inter Milan. And I think we all expected him to be of the high quality nature of what he was in Italy, scoring goals left, right and centre. And he's been doing that so far. And, you know, when you look at the team overall, Edouard Mendy in goal, back three, Rudiger Christensen, Azpilicueta, Alonso and James, who've been excellent this season so far as the 2 wide midfielders. Jorginho, Men's Player of the Year, UEFA, of course. He'll be hoping to live up to the hype of that again this season, alongside Kovacic in midfield, and then Havertz, Lukaku, and Ziyech up top. Very, very good side overall. When you look at the bench as well, I mean, there's some interesting players on the bench. You've got the usuals, the Werner, the Silvers, and Hudson-Odoi. Ross Barkley, don't know where he's appeared from. Seems to have vanished from football. He's magically appeared again on the bench. And Malang Sarr as well, another player who didn't get a move on deadline day. He's now stuck at Chelsea. Probably won't see a great deal of him this season. So that's the Chelsea team. Looking at the Zenit lineup, Zenit St. Petersburg, of course, they were in this competition last season and finished bottom. They are probably likely to be fighting for that third place spot again in their group. 4-5-1 from them, as you'd expect, a little bit more defensive. Kryciuk in goal, back four, Douglas Santos, Rakitsky, Chistiakov and Sotoromin. Midfield five, Claudinho and Malcolm, two Brazilian wingers are on the right and on the right and left hand side. Kazayev, Barros and Wendell in the midfield. And then, of course, as we said, if Kale was here, Sardar Azmoun is up top. Azmoun watch is on, linked with moves away from Zenit's European clubs. Tottenham was one of them. Lyon was one of them. No doubt there'll be a lot of European clubs watching him tonight. On the bench, Artem Zhuba, recognisable name of them all at the very least. He's not playing tonight. He's had a few issues with Zenit. He might come on as a sub, but he's not. Let's say if you want to find out what his problem is, Google it. It's an interesting situation to why Zuba's not playing and why he's probably not in the good books of the manager. Not one of them that you could probably say out on stream. That's all I'll say. But we'll move on to the next game either way. And of course, we'll go through the games now that the two guys covering, Rowan and Kieren. And we'll start off with Kieran's games. This is the standout by far, Kieren. We've been talking about this ever since it was drawn out. Barca and Bayern Munich. The last time we watched them, 8-2 was the scoreline. I don't think we're quite going to get that again tonight. But when the games came out, I think everybody was looking at this match. And you get the privilege of watching this one. Do you think we're going to get 10 goals tonight?
I mean, I'll be very fortunate if I do. I think we'll have goals, but just because of the way that Bayern Munich and Barcelona have been playing at the start of this season, I'm looking at Barca's squad, and do you know when you just think about the great Barcelona squad, then you look at that and you think, that's nowhere near the standard of Barcelona have been over the last decade or so. I think Bayern Munich might absolutely hammer them again tonight. It won't be 8-2, but I think 3-1 or 4-1. I wouldn't be surprised.
And we'll have to see whether or not 3-1 or 4-1's the scoreline. You can see Barca. This is a very different team to the Barca that played that Bayern Munich team a couple of years ago. 3-5-2 tonight. I don't think it's a 3-5-2. We'll see how it is in game. PK Garcia Araujo alongside ter Stegen. That is the back line. Midfield five. You've got Jordi Alba and Sergio Roberto acting as the wide midfielders with Frenkie de Jong, Busquets and Pedri in midfield. And then Depay and a debut for Luke de Jong. Talk about pressure. First game in a Barca shirt, and you're coming up against Bayern Munich. Of course, you might have heard in the past, Depay, De Jong, both together with PSV Eindhoven, got 30-plus goals between them. No doubt Koeman is hoping that happens again at Barcelona. On the bench, a couple of players on there. Dest, Coutinho back from a long spell out. Longley as well. He will have very bad memories of that certain night in Portugal 2 years ago. As for Bayern Munich, 4-5-1, 4-2-3-1 probably on paper, whatever you want it to be. Neuer is in goal. Back four of Davies, Nicolas Soule, Upamecano, of course, new signing for Bayern Munich, alongside his teammate Benjamin Pavard as a right back, not a centre back. That's a mistake on my behalf. Musiala and Leroy Sané. Kieran's licking his lips. He's doing the Ronaldinho. He's licking his lips at Leroy Sané. He's had a stellar start to the season. He'll be hoping tonight he can have a good game against Barcelona. Goretzka, Kimmich and Muller in the midfield. And then, of course, Robert Lewandowski. You don't need to say much about him, do you? Ridiculous monster that he is up top. On the bench,
A very strong bench.
Very strong bench. Choupo-Moting, Koeman, Gnabry, Sabitzer, who could come on for his debut, new signing. It is a stacked bench. I know you said you think there's going to be 4 goals in it, 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Who do you think is going to the scoreline?
Oh, Bayern Munich for sure. I think the quality of their attacking three, especially Musiala and Lewandowski, of course, they're really on fire at the moment. And I think, as well as Barcelona have started the season in La Liga, I think Bayern Munich are just a step above them at the moment. It'll be a massive result if Barcelona can beat them. I think a draw is probably what a lot of people expect, but I think that Bayern Munich will run through them. But then again, stranger things have happened. I wouldn't be surprised if Barcelona were to win.
It's going to be a good game either way. Barca Bayern, that's the first game Kieran's covering. We're all covering 2 games tonight. That's how it's probably going to be for the next 2 nights. And even for the Europa League, that one's going to be fun. Three of us and like 30-odd games. It's going to be mad. But the other game we are covering tonight, Lille Wolfsburg.
Yes.
Again, another tie on paper, which I think when it was pulled out, obviously, for KD, as you'll know, if you're regular on the channel, big fan of Wrigley Baku, already a mouth-watering fixture. But 2 teams that have been brilliant in their leagues. Lille winning the title in Ligue 1, of course, not having a great start to the season. Wolfsburg, been brilliant both sides of the season so far. We'll go through the teams first, then we'll talk about this game in a second. Lille, obviously, with the recognised 4-4-2. New manager in charge, who politely has had an absolute stinker so far in charge of the club. Absolute stinker. Ivo Gerbic, new goalkeeper in goal, of course, coming in for Mike Maignan. Back 4, Ronaldo, Botman, Jose Fonte, and Zeki Selic. That is an unchanged back 4. Unchanged midfield, I guess you could say as well. Jonathan Akone and David on the right, left and right hand sides. Xhaka and Andre midfield. And then up top, Burak Yilmaz, their top scorer last season. And Angel Gomez as well, recognisable name to Man United fans. On the bench, not the strongest and not as many players as some other teams have got. Yazici is probably the standout name of the lot on the bench, of course, was the one of the Europa League top scorers last season. As for Wolfsburg, 4-2-3-1 from them tonight. Castiles in goal, back 4. Jeremy Roussillon, Jean Brooks in what is probably his last season in the Wolfsburg shirt from the rumours going around.
Come on, the guard dog.
The guard dog. We're hoping he can have a good performance tonight. Lacroix and Kevin and Barbu in the back 4 as well. Midfield 3, Arnold Guilavogui as the 2 holding midfielders, Maximilian Philip as the attacking midfielder. On the left-hand side, it's Renato Stefan. On the right-hand side, it's Mr. Wrigley Baku. Hopefully,
come on
tonight. The excitement is unreal. And then up top is Mr. Wout Weghorst. Again, he's had a brilliant season in the Bundesliga last season. They'll be hoping again he can have a very good season in a Wolfsburg shirt. I mean, the bench as well. When I was writing this up, Wolfsburg have got quite a stacked bench now. A lot of new signings on there. Luca Bacchio, Waldschmidt, Bornau, all new signings. Nemetra as well. Asta Vranks is another new signing. I think Wolfsburg here, and I don't know if you'll agree with me, apart from the Baku bias, I guess you could say, I think Wolfsburg are in a very good position to win this game tonight.
Yeah, they've got a really good squad, and of course they're riding the high of starting off the Bundesliga season excellently. Wout Weghorst still on fire, and I mean, their team is just quite complete all across the park. And if you look at the bench, as you were just saying, you've got Bornau, you've got Asta Vrank, who's a really good wonder kid, Luca Bacchio, who's a fantastic loan sign. I have no idea how they've managed to get him off Hertha Berlin, and Luca Waldschmidt as well, doing his thing over in Portugal, come back to Germany, and I expect him to play really well for Wolfsburg in his this season. But I think the games are about to just kick off.
They are indeed. Mine have kicked off already. I've probably no doubt everyone else's has. We will keep up to date with the scores as they go along. But they are KD's games. So what we'll do is we always do on the goal show. We'll take KD out for now. We'll go through Rowan's game. And then hopefully we shall have some goals. See you in a bit, Kieren. And Rowan, we'll move on to yours just in case the goals go flying in. First game, the standout for you in terms of the matches overall. Villarreal might be 13th in the league right now, as we noticed earlier on. But this should be a very interesting game. The first match for the Europa League winners of last season. And they're coming up against Atalanta, who themselves actually lost one of the games last week against Fiorentina. 4-3-3 tonight for Villarreal. Rulli is in goal, the man who actually scored the winning penalty in that Europa League final. Back 4, Pedraza, Pau Torres, Albiol, and Juan Foyth. Midfield 3 of Manu Trigaros, Etienne Capoue, Dani Parejo. And then up top, it's a very different front 3 for Villarreal these days. Young Styro Mipino is on the left-hand side. Top scorer of last season in the Europa League, Jerome Moreno is on the right-hand side. And then new signing from Stade de Reims, Boulaye D. You might have seen him in the Super Cup. He's up top tonight for Villarreal. On the bench, it's quite a stacked bench again, isn't it? Coquelin, Alberto Moreno, Danjuma Groenveld, new signing from Bournemouth, of course. He's going to be quite interesting to keep your eyes out on. So that is the Villarreal team. As for the Atalanta lineup, again, they've made quite a few signings themselves. 3-4-2-1 Atalanta. Juan Musso is the goalkeeper. He comes in, of course, Galini leaving to join Spurs. Pretty much same back three as what they had last season, Toloi, Palomino and Jim City. Midfield 4, Gosens, and signing from Chelsea, Zappacosta as the 2 wide midfielders, Frolan Darun as the 2 central midfielders, and then up top, Psinio Malinovsky as the 2 cam/wide forwards, Duvan Zapata as the striker. On the bench, a few signings on there as well. Demiral, I think, from Juventus joined them again. Koopmeiners from Alkmaar, brilliant signing, and a couple of players as well.
Joachim
What do you
Mailer
think
as well.
about this game?
I think, talking about Villarreal, I mean, like I said, not the best starts from both teams. Atalanta in 10th, Villarreal in 13th. But obviously, Villarreal coming off that Europa League win. I think, but on that Atlanta bench, I mean, Koopmeiners, incredible signing. One of the players of the Euros, Joachim Mailer, not even starting. So you can imagine the impact he will have off the bench. Big fan of Moranchuk. Ilicic as well on the bench. I think a lot of players on there that could come on and make an impact. Not many goals though. When I did check, both these teams in the 3 games, I think it's 3 goals so far this entire season. Obviously, we're only 4 games in, so it's not many. But 2 teams like these, you expect a couple more goals. But I think when you look to all these teams, especially in this group, you've got these 2, maybe the 2 most even sides. In the singers, Atalanta nearly scored. It was a good ball in. Zapata just couldn't gamble on it. But probably the most 2 evenly matched sides in the tournament. So it's going to be really interesting to see how them 2 match up together.
I think the expectation will be hopefully this is the game that gets both of them going. As you said, 3 goals each. They'll be hoping tonight is a couple more than 3. They'll be making for a quite enjoyable game. And then the other game, of course, the last game of the night, apart from the KFM game, of course, Malmo, Juventus. Malmo, I guess you could say Ferencváros of last year, the sweetheart team of the Champions League, making it through the playoffs. What a game tonight for them against Juventus. 5-3-2 tonight for the Swedish side. Diarra in goal, back 5 of Rieks, Bross and Nielsen, Ahmed Hozic, Berge, midfield 3, Rakip, Christiansen and Innocent. No doubt there's going to be a few jokes about that over the next 6 weeks. Benemancevic and Cholak up top. And then, of course, on the bench, a few, I'd say recognisable players, but if you're not a Swedish league fan, then you probably don't know any of them at all. Juventus, though, much more recognisable side at the least. No Ronaldo anymore, of course. 4-4-2 for Juventus. Szczesny, who has had a stinker so far this season, is in goal. He'll be off for no stinkers tonight. Sandro Bonucci, Delic and Danilo even as the back 4. Rabiot, Bentancur, new signing Locatelli and Cuadrado as the midfield 4. And then up top, Morata and Dybala, stacked bench, Kylian, Ramsey, McKennie, Keane, Regani. Plenty of names on there, but as we were saying before, Rowan, not just Szczesny who's had a stinker. Juventus have had a really poor start to the season. 1 point, or I think they're just off the relegation zone.
17
goal difference. This needs to be the game for them to ignite the season, you'd think.
Really is, because, I mean, you size 17, especially when you look at the Serie A, and it is, we talk about maybe there's like top 8 sides, a decent midfield, and then you do have your newly promoted sides that are always going to struggle. But yet we're talking about Juventus being in that 17th spot. And I think this season they had to prove that they weren't a one-man team. How Barcelona is saying they're not a Messi side, they were not a Ronaldo side. And I mean, a lot of stuff that just seems so, like, I think they signed Weston McKennie and then wanted to offload him. But they brought in Locatelli. Obviously, we all know how great of a sign is. He was your player to watch. It's 1-0. Atalanta. Who is that? Because that was just a nice, sweet finish. It's Remo Freuler, the Swiss man. It just falls outside the box, and I think it's actually took a major deflection there. But yeah, this good game. And by the way, Malmo have actually had a really good start. They've tried to gamble. When they've got the ball, they've just gone for a gamble, some passes. And Danilo has looked really out of depth right now. But I'm sure when Juventus get going. But 1-0, Atalanta, Freuler with the goal. And they actually haven't shown a replay yet. And I don't know if they will. There we go. And it is, I just saw, when I was looking, I saw like something was happening. It was a cross that came in, blocked things. Zapata then goes to chest it down, lays it off, and tell you what, that is a sweet finish from Freuler. On like the half volley, hits it to the bottom left, hits the left post, and pings into the bottom right corner. A lovely goal, and Atalanta have took that sort of early lead, and it's a sweet, sweet finish.
Talking about chances, I will let you go, Rowan. By the way, thank you very much. They are Rowan's games tonight. We have got a penalty in the game between Kiev and Benfica. 2 games I said I'm covering tonight. Chelsea Zenit and Kiev Benfica. I'm not going to lie, I'm more excited for Kiev Benfica than Chelsea Zenit. No disrespect, I just think that the Chelsea game will be a little bit more comprehensive than maybe the Kiev Benfica game is. But Kiev have got a penalty in the early sections of this match. And if you were to predict a player from that Benfica side to give away a penalty, who would it be? I'll give you a chance. If you guessed Otamendi, you are absolutely spot on. Otamendi has given away a penalty. Obviously, the centre back, that is probably I don't know what the word is really. Quite a provocative player. It maybe is the best way to put it. But he's given away a penalty here. It looks like, although VAR is going to check this, and it looks like it might actually be given as a free kick. And in the end, it has been given as a free kick instead. So free kick for Kiev. But I am going to go over to Rowan first. There is a chance in his game. Question is, which one, Rowan?
It's Atalanta Villarreal again. And it was Robin Gosens just wins. It was like a poor block at the back from, I think it was Raul Albiol. It bouncing. Gosens steals it. He's got a lot of time outside the box. He drags in a defender. I think it was Malianovsky who was open on the right side. He goes for the shot, and it forces a smart save out of Rulli. But Atalanta have started off very fiery, and that was a lovely... He has so much up space. Maybe a better shot. He probably should have offloaded it, but the way this game has started, I think, hopefully, we're in for a night of goals.
Hopefully so. Thank you very much, Rowan. 1-0 Atalanta. If you've never been on the Goal Show before, this is how it works. We'll bring the boys in as the games go on, of course. I've got 2 games on now. I can say I've got 2, which is nice, because usually last year I'd have 1 game on, but I've got the privilege of having 2 games now to make life much more easier. Let's go over to KD. Well, actually, I was going to go over to him. Early yellow in the game, the Barca match for Kimmich, who's already gone into the book, which is not exactly what you want after about 10 or so minutes of the game. It's early yellow there for Kimmich, and there was a dangerous free kick, but nothing's come of it. So, yeah, not much going on there as of yet. But let's go through the comments. How are you all doing? Good to see you all as always. It's a little while since we've gone through the comments. Obviously, we've gone through all of the teams. Chris is in the building. How are you doing, Chris, as always? He's put evening, lads, and KD. No doubt why you've put KD in there. Hope Man United fans having a good and safe evening. You don't want to do that, because if you lose to AC Milan tomorrow, it's going to bite you in the arse if you do that, Chris. And then Daz saying he's good. He's off work till Friday. Have a fantastic time off work, Daz. Enjoy yourself. With all the games that are going on this week. It's a very busy week indeed. We've got Zavix fan in the building as well. How are you doing, Zavix? Welcome along to the stream as always. And then predictions-wise, if you want to put your predictions in for tonight's games, then feel free to do so. Daz has gone 4-1 Bayern. I saw Chris as well saying he agrees with KD, and he thinks it's going to be 4-1 Bayern 2. So everybody expecting a thrashing tonight in that game. And then Carl saying, not surprised, Otamendi is awful. I don't know what it is with him. I think provocative is the best word. He's just I think you could probably say he's a clown at the back sometimes. He's very rash when it comes to tackles and that. But luckily enough, in the end, it wasn't given as a penalty, and it was given as a free kick, and rightly so. But to quickly run through again, for those of you that are just joining, which games have been covered by who. KD is covering Barca, Bayern Munich, as well as Lille Wolfsburg. Rowan is covering the Malmo Juve game, as well as the Atalanta match, which has got the only goal so far after 10 minutes. And then I'm covering Chelsea, as well as Benfica. Chelsea, main game tonight. That's the one I'm going to be keeping my eyes out on a little bit more than the Kiev game, although I did say I was a bit more excited for Kiev. Champions League leaders. Before the game started, Jorginho was awarded the Best Player of the Year award. Mendy as well was awarded the Goalkeeper award too. So the pressure tonight will be on Chelsea to go out there and get themselves that nice early win. You'll have seen, of course, with the earlier games, Sevilla and Man United both dropping points. I think Sevilla probably a little bit more lucky to have not dropped more than 2 points. No, 1 point in the game because obviously Red Bull Salzburg, you might have seen, had 3 penalties and only scored 1. But Man United, of course, dropping all 3 points. Last gasp winner in that game for young boys. We're not going to keep reminding anyone of that tonight, because if you're a Man U fan, you don't really want to hear about it. But they were the 5:45 p.m. kickoffs. And as I said, with the Chelsea game specifically, the expectation on the shoulders of Chelsea will be to go out there and get a very comprehensive victory. As I said earlier, Zenit St. Petersburg last season did finish bottom of their group. So the expectation will be very, very high tonight for Chelsea to go out there at Stamford Bridge and pick up 3 points. But we are going to go to KD now because there is a dangerous free kick in one of these games. Which one is it, Kieren?
It's the Lille and Wolfsburg game, and it's been a bit back and forth this game, but Yilmaz is going to strike this free kick over the wall, and it's tipped just around the post by the goalkeeper, Casteels. It's not really been the best of starts to either matches. I'd probably say Barcelona have started better in this game against Bayern Munich, but this Lille-Wolfsburg game has been back and forth, but that was the first big chance of the game there, and Casteels had to turn it around the corner. You know how powerful Burak Yilmaz is with his shots, and the keeper tips around the post, so both games still 0-0.
Thank you very much, KD. As he said himself, Burak Yilmaz, always quite good on free kicks. You might have seen a couple of free kicks he scored last season. Hasn't scored one yet, but we'll go through each game and we'll talk through them a little bit more because I think there's some really decent games tonight. As I said, tomorrow's games are much better. We'll talk about them a little bit later on when we get into the second half, if it gets a little bit quiet in the matches. But obviously the standout is Barca Bayern Munich. You know, we could sit here and talk about this game for 90 minutes straight, but the expectations on the game is quite high. Being the opening match of the Champions League season, I think sometimes it isn't as enjoyable of a game as you'd expect. I think I remember last year when Barca played Juventus. Obviously, it was the Messi Ronaldo game. That was tipped to be a fantastic match, and in the end, it didn't really turn out to be the game that was expected. But obviously, this season, a little bit more different. Obviously, not having COVID really messing things up is always a positive because I guess last year we had a couple of international games and that was kind of it. We went straight into the UCL. While this year we've had 3 or 4 league games and everything else in between. But it should be a brilliant match to watch Barca Bayern. And if you are watching it, you are very, very lucky indeed because it should be a very enjoyable game to watch. But, all you guys in the chat predicting 3-4, 5-1 to Bayern, we'll have to see whether or not it lives up to the expectations because I think it will be much tighter than that. I would probably say Bayern Munich win it maybe by a goal, maybe 2-1. I think that's probably a likely scoreline. Chelsea Zenit, spoke about that earlier. I have to say, Zenit actually looking really good in the first 15 minutes. I had one little chance, which I didn't really speak about earlier, but it was a chance from Claudinho on the left-hand side of the field. It was a shot from inside the box at the near post, a decent effort that hit the side netting in the end. But Zenit really giving it to Chelsea in the first 15 minutes. And I said earlier before off stream, I think if there's one game you'd maybe be okay with losing, is that first match. You never really want to lose games when you get 4, 5, 6 match days into the tournament. I think the pressure then begins to build. We've seen it time and time again where groups can have all 4 teams after match day 4 or 5 all able to qualify to the next round. We saw it last year, didn't we? With it was the Shakhtar group where all teams could have qualified. And I don't necessarily think we will get that in the Chelsea group. And for those of you that have forgot, ignore the fact that Sporting is Chelsea. I downloaded it off the internet. Even I didn't notice myself with that. But, when you look at that group, Chelsea, Dortmund, Ajax, Besiktas, I think that is a very interesting group. And that's not actually the group because I've just realised, where is Zenit? That is not right. Where is Zenit? Rowan, I'll let you jump in.
It's Sporting, Dortmund, Ajax, Besiktas.
That
Group
makes
H is
sense.
Chelsea, Juventus, Zenit, Malmo.
There we go. Thank you, Rowan. I wouldn't even notice myself. Yeah, a bit of a typo there from him. So when you look at the group, they're right one at the very least. Chelsea group. 2 clear favourites in that group, isn't there? Chelsea, Juve are the 2 expected to go through. It will be a fight between Zenit and Malmo, no doubt, for that Europa League spot. So unless there's any surprises, which I doubt it, 6 match days is more than enough for Chelsea and Juve to get 10 plus points easily, I think, for both of them. So it will be all eyes on Zenit and Malmo for who gets that Europa League spot. And I think no doubt tonight is probably the game where both can be let off to a certain extent. If they do lose, expected defeats it would be for both sides. But looking at what you guys have been saying in the chat, That's saying, Josh, I don't know if you watched the World Cup of Darts, but the price was nasty with right. I did, yes. I did watch it. Wasn't too bad, was it? Very enjoyable tournament overall. And then Dazza says, what do you think of the foul on Elliott on Sunday? I said it when I did the stream live. I didn't think it was a red card. I think when Klopp went over to the referee, it insinuated a little bit more for the referee to be inclined to give the red card out. And I think Leeds have come out today and I think they're appealing it, and rightfully so, because I don't think anybody can really say it was a definite red. I don't think Pascal Struijk went in maliciously with the intent to injure. I just think it was a very unfortunate injury for him. But yeah, we'll have to see whether or not Struijk, whether his suspension or not gets overturned. But we'll have to see. And if you're a Leeds fan, you're probably hoping it is overturned. Kat saying, you're losing some of your mojo, Josh. I probably am, to be fair. Maybe I'm just losing my eyesight. Probably one of the two. Other game, though, tonight. Kiev Benfica. Politely, I think people will probably not, or as many people won't be watching this game because it's not what you would class as an elite Champions League tie. But when you look at the group which Benfica and Kiev are in, again, two clear favourites in that group, Bayern Munich and Barcelona. But I could see, depending on how Benfica start this tournament, I do see Benfica being that little annoying team that are going to keep maybe nabbing points away from some of these sides. I think they could easily get something against Barca, Benfica. Obviously, the expectation will be to no doubt get 6 points from Kiev. So if they can get some points between Barca and Bayern, you never know whether or not Benfica could get something. But we'll stop our Benfica talk for a second. We'll come back to it because we have had a chance in one of the games in KD's matches. Who's had the chance, Kieren?
Yeah, and it was the first real chance for Bayern Munich. They kind of sprung to life out of nowhere. Barcelona had a very good start to this match. And then out of nowhere, Bayern Munich, quick as you like up the field. It was kind of like a half attempted cross into the box by Pavard, which was headed up into the air by Araujo, and Leroy Sané hit on the volley. Sweet as you like, Ter Stegen made a really good save. But Bayern Munich are starting to turn the screw now and get their foot on the ball and get into this game. But both games are still 0-0.
Thank you very much, KD. As always, 0-0. Early days in the first match day of the Champions League. If you are new, by the way, don't forget to leave a like and a subscription. We do these match day goal shows every single match day. Of course, we'll show you a little bit later on what's to come, but we've got the Europa League and the Conference League on Thursday. That's going to be quite interesting, the goal show, when you've got about 70 billion different teams playing at once. But we've also got the Champions League again tomorrow, some stellar games to come. Of course, tomorrow's main game, which I'm going to be doing, is Liverpool against Milan. That is a real UCL tie, if I say so myself. But yeah, that is 0-0 as it stands across all the games, apart from Atalanta, who were 1-0 up against Villarreal. Nice early goal in that game, courtesy of Roma Frola in the 6th minute. But hopefully we'll get a few more soon. We can go back to the other 3 games tonight. Lille Wolfsburg. When you actually look at Lille and Wolfsburg's group, my lord, that is a tough group. And I wouldn't be surprised if this was the one group that finishes maybe with all 4 teams in the balance to make it out of the group stages. We saw today Salzburg, who, you know, KD watched them last season, and he always said they got a little bit of a lack of a finishing edge. And I think they've still got that to a certain extent. But if they can just unlock the attack and make the most of the opportunities that they get, I really do think that they've got a very good chance of making it out of the group. Sevilla didn't look too strong today, and I think they were really ripped open by Salzburg. Obviously, the red card from En-Nesyri didn't help. It was a reckless, it wasn't even a reckless foul, it was just reckless decision-making from En-Nesyri to go down for a dive. But all 4 teams are well and truly in the balance in Group G. And I would have to say, I wouldn't be surprised if Wolfsburg finished top. And I wouldn't be surprised if Wolfsburg maybe finished the group unbeaten. That's all I'll say on that. I think they're a very, very well-organised side. But I think Wolfsburg are the favourites. But I'm going to stop for a second because Lukaku's in the box here for Chelsea. Brilliant defending at the back from Sotormin, who just gets down, puts his leg out and gambles inside the box on making the tackle and just stops Lukaku from maybe getting the first goal of this game between Chelsea and Zenit. He's looked lively, as you would expect, Lukaku. But so far, no goals in that match. I was saying that. Ball long towards Lukaku. And again, desperate defending at the back from Zenit. This time it's going to be defended by Rakitski, who just chests the ball away from goal. It's going to go out of play for a goal kick. For a corner. And the pressure is just starting to build on Zenit here, as we're about 20 minutes into this match. But we're going to go over to Rowan. He's getting all the goals tonight. There's a goal in one of his games. Which game, Rowan?
I've been very lucky. It's in the Malmo-Juventus game, and it is a goal against the run of play, which means it's a goal for Juventus. Malmo genuinely have been the better side. They really have. But it's ball played onto the right. Quadrado, good ball in. And I don't know if Bentancur, it goes for a header, and I don't know whether his touch, he doesn't even touch it. He flicks it backwards. And then there's Alexandro there in the centre of the box, gets down low, heads it practically on the floor, puts it past the keeper. And Juventus needed that because they were really on the back foot. Malmo have been top tier tonight. They could easily get back into this game, but I'm hoping this isn't really a confidence loser. They don't lose confidence because they really don't need that because they played so well this first half.
Confidence booster for Juve, though. I guess on the other hand, for Juve, maybe it opens the doors for a couple more goals. Yeah,
and when they've gone forward, they've had moments. They really have. Morata had an opportunity maybe 5 minutes ago. Cross came in and just completely missed the header. I just think that they just don't have that finishing touch. I really haven't seen Dybala anywhere in that attacking third, but I'm sure, as you said, one goal, use that. I think they could probably get another. It's Juventus, we know they're a good side, regardless of Ronaldo. But come on, Malmo. Got to back them now. They are real to the Ferencváros of last year. And by the way, this Villarreal-Atalanta game has been feisty. We've just got a yellow card there for Martin de Roon. But I think it was Parejo and Freuler got into a bit of beef earlier on. It's a proper feisty game, and I think that early goal really helped with it.
Feel you're stealing all the drama, Rowan. You've got all the action right now. Very, very lucky indeed. Thank you, Rowan. Both games for Rowan now. Both away teams. 1-0 up. Atalanta getting the first goal of the night. And, of course, just a moment ago, as we heard from Rowan, Juventus in the lead against the run of play, surprisingly. Although I guess you could say with the way that Juventus have started, maybe not as surprising as you'd think it is. 1-0 in that match. Daz in the chat saying he hopes it's a strong lineup from Klopp tomorrow. I think it will be. I think a game like that against AC Milan, who, let's not lie, are starting to get back to their very best again. I think it will be a very strong lineup from Klopp tomorrow. You can't mess about against a team like AC Milan. And we will talk about those games a little bit later on tonight. As I said, we'll probably talk about them with about 20, 25 minutes left of the second half if it gets a little bit quiet. But back to our main game of the night, Chelsea against Zenit. And it's Chelsea who are dominating possession, as you would expect. Kovacic, just outside the box, lays the ball to Ziyech, who's trying a bit of his Moroccan... I was going to say Moroccan magiciary, but that's not even a word. Magic Moroccan? I don't know what you'd say. I'll say it's a word. Moroccan magiciary. There's a new word for you. He was trying to dance around the defence of Zenit, and he has been fouled. But in the end, the referee's actually played on, which is a bit bizarre from him. But yeah, not much really going on so far for Chelsea. I do think they'll be a little bit disappointed that they've not had something or a big chance in the game. Ziyech has looked fairly lively, trying to make things for Lukaku to get inside the box. A couple of crosses in there for the Belgian. But apart from that, there's not really been much going on. And if you're Zenit, let me take that off the screen, of course, but the way that the group is, any points for Zenit will be big points. And I just think Zenit will be holding out today, playing a 4-5-1. They will be holding out to no doubt get just a point if needed, especially at this very early stage of the Champions League season. And then talk about the other game as well, because I have got the Benfica-Kiev game. Quite a lively start to this one, to be honest with you. Very end-to-end. Kiev last season, you'll remember, they were actually knocked out quite early on. They were in the group with Ferencváros. I can remember that Kiev-Ferencváros game very well. It was feisty game, that last match of the Champions League group stage. But they're in a very, very tough group again this season. Of course, with Barcelona for the second year in a row, which is a bit of a shame for them. But they've been the better of the two sides so far. There was the free kick, which we spoke about earlier, a decent chance, I think it was from Shigankov, who just hit the bar with it. But apart from that, we spoke about Benfica and saying that maybe they could be the team to steal points from the likes of Barca and Bayern. They're going to have to steal some points here against Kiev because the Ukrainian side at home are looking very, very lively indeed. And I think if Kiev can continue the way that they are, we might get an early goal in that one. But we will have to see whether or not anything comes to the table in that match. Of course, I'll keep you up to date as much as I possibly can when we get a little bit later into that game with a few decent chances. But not the dramatic start I think anybody was expecting the Champions League. 2 goals so far, Juventus and Atalanta with the goals. But we are going to go to Rowan because there has been a chance. Who for, Rowan?
Yeah, Juventus are absolutely rolling right now. Bonucci has just played an incredible ball over the top. Sandro does incredible just to control it, chest it down straight onto his foot, and he just rifles the shot. It does go past the post, but just a lovely ball by Bonucci. Great touch by Sandro, and Juventus have really got the motion now. There's going to be a second goal in this before the end of the half. I can guarantee it.
We'll have to see or not. Thank you very much, Rowan. 1-0 to Juventus. The Italian side getting into the mojo as you would have expected them to. And we very nearly had a big chance in the Kiev game against Benfica. It would have probably been one of the... I guess we're only, one game in the Champions League. But it would have been quite a hell of a mistake. The goalkeeper for Benfica, I don't know what he's thinking in this situation. Sweeper keeper or what? I think it's Vlachodimos who's in goal today. Yeah, Vlachodimos, who'd come running out of his goal. Tried to get Shkurin, who's up top, the number 73. Very bizarre number for a striker, to be fair to you. But he'd just come running out of his goal to try and go in for the tackle. Completely missed the ball, and should have had an open goal and doesn't actually put the ball in the back of the net. So a bit of breathing space for Benfica as they get the ball back and push up the pitch. But again, another big chance for Kiev. If they can take a chance before the end of the first half, just how there might be a goal in the Juve game for Malmo, or for Juve, either two. More likely Juve right now. It's looking more and more likely that the home side in this match could get themselves something before the end of the first half. So a little chance to speak about for the Ukrainians. What about Chelsea? The answer to that question is not much is going on. A lot of possession with Chelsea right now, being passed around the middle. Jorginho and Kovacic, as you'd expect, really playing the tempo of this match. Just slowing it down for a second here as Zenit did try and push up the pitch with Sardar Azmoun. But I'll be honest with you. I can be honest because Kale isn't in the building and he's probably not watching. Azmoun watches... He's not going well right now. He's probably had one touch of the ball from what I can remember, and it was a long ball hoofed up to him. And that'll be the extent of Zenit's game tonight. It will be long ball in the hopes that someone like Azmoun can get a touch on the ball. But for now, not much going on at all. Although we're just past the halfway mark, or the half an hour mark at the very least. And it's going to be Chelsea on the ball here. Kovacic being pushed all the way back to his keeper. Going to play it back to Rudiger here. And eventually Chelsea pressurised all the way back into their own half. And as I said, it will be long ball tonight from Zenit. But if they can go into the break at 0-0, they'll be very, very happy with that. Mr. Tolman gets the ball back here from Marcus Alonso, arguably the player of the season so far for Chelsea. But we will go over to KD. There's been a chance in one of the games. Who for, Kieren?
Yeah, Bayern Munich are really cooking with gas now. Their passing's becoming a lot more crisp, a lot more rhythm to it. And it was Leroy Sané again, causing havoc for Barcelona in the box. It's Muller has a little pop shot outside the box. It just deflects off Leroy Sané, who uses his heel to control the ball. And then, unfortunately, he does just hit Lewandowski, who's in an offside position before Kimmich actually strikes the resulting shot. Barcelona defending well, though, but Bayern Munich, I feel like it's only a matter of time before the goal comes. But a good game, to be fair, for 0-0.
Very good game indeed. Thank you very much, Kieren. 0-0 between the two big dogs of today's Champions League action, Barca and Bayern Munich. We just had a big chance for Chelsea. Reece James down the right-hand side, of course, back from suspension quite recently as well. Fizzes a really good cross into the box, very reminiscent of the Trent Alexander-Arnold cross for Salah in the game that we watched between Liverpool and Leeds. Tries to get it towards Lukaku, who's making a run towards the near post. Rakitsky, again, just puts a foot out and clears the ball away. And another chance for Chelsea. And I think what Trent is to Liverpool, James has got a very similar role tonight, being that wide midfielder. He's going to make runs forward, put balls into the box for Lukaku. And I think, when you are Gareth Southgate, you've got quite a tough choice, haven't you, with the amount of left backs and right backs that England have got. But Chelsea coming forward here, and this could be a chance because Lukaku at the edge of the box is going to try and take on his man. He's gone for the shot in the near post. Rakitsky again, brilliant defending from the Ukrainian, who's literally put his body on the line to make sure that Lukaku doesn't get the shot on goal. And the Belgian, another chance in this game, but not really one to scream and shout about, as the pressure is beginning to build on Zenit here, as we are now about 32 minutes into this game. 0-0 still. We've got a chance, though. In fact, no, referee's going to stop play for a free kick, so no chance there, sadly. But 0-0 so far, Chelsea-Zenit. 0-0 Kiev-Benfica. Again, a few little opportunities in that game, nothing to scream and shout about. 0-0 between Lille and Wolfsburg. 0-0 between Bayern and Barca. And again, still, with half an hour in, Rowan has got all the goals and the action because Juve are 1-0 up against Malmo, and Atalanta are 1-0 up against Villarreal. We'll keep you up to date as the goals go in. I'm just going to very quickly find out whether Rotherham are winning or losing because, of course, my hometown are in action tonight. Wouldn't surprise me if we were 2-0 down. The answer to that question is, we're 1-0 up. That's what we like to see. Michael Smith with the goals. He's running riot in League One, and we love to see it. So at least that puts a smile on my face while the UCL is a little bit quiet, but it's not quite no more because there's been a goal. KD, which game?
Bayern Munich have just taken lead. I'm not quite sure how this ball's gone in the back of the net. I think it's took a wicked deflection. It's an absolute nothing shot from Thomas Muller from about 25 yards. Oh, it's an awful deflection. It's deflected off Eric Garcia and completely wrong-footed to Stegen, who's obviously stepped to the right, expecting the shot to come in. And Bayern Munich do lead. It is Thomas Muller because the shot is going on target, but it just hits the behind of Eric Garcia and bounces into the back of the net. So it has been coming, the goal. It's an unfortunate way for Barcelona to concede the goal, but I'd probably say deserved from Bayern Munich because the goal has been coming.
Thank you very much, KD. Finally got a goal that isn't in one of Rowan's games. Barca 1-0 down to Bayern Munich. And as people were expecting in the chat, they were predicting 4 or 5 goals tonight. Not the best goal in the world from the sounds of it. I would obviously check if I had the game on. But either way, a goal is a goal. And Bayern Munich are in the lead. Is there a chance for Chelsea to take the lead in their game? Corner, which is going to be lobbed in. And it's straight away lobbed out of the box. So no goal there for Chelsea, unfortunately. But we're going back to KD again. Remember, we're all covering 2 games tonight, so there might be plenty of chances. Not for me so far, but there is a chance for KD. Who's it for?
Yeah, the game's really hotting up coming into the last 10 minutes of the half. It was a chance for Lille this time, a long ball over the top. And Yilmaz is in one-on-one, and it's really good defending from, I think it's Lacroix, to just come across and jockey him and jockey him and jockey him. At one point, Yilmaz looked like he was through, clear on goal. Lacroix does well to recover, and Yilmaz blasts his shot over the bar. He really should be doing better with that. But again, another chance in the Barcelona-Bayern game when Leroy Sané broke into the area, looked to have the shot, looked to be taken down by Araujo. The referee, Michael, waved play on, no penalty. And Barcelona, to be fair to them, even though they are losing 1-0, there's signs from there. They are playing quite well.
Sounds like a very decent game indeed. Thank you very much, KD. 1-0 to Bayern Munich. Obviously, we heard about the goal a moment ago. And still 0-0 between Lost Lille and Wolfsburg. No doubt with the way that one is sounding. We'll probably get a goal in that fairly soon. Looking at what you guys have been saying in the chat. Sean, how you doing, Sean? He says Northampton 1-0 up against Newport. John Guthrie. Northampton have had a quality start to the season in League Two, if I'm correct. I'm pretty sure they have scored a fair few goals. I think you're in the top. You might be in the top 6, I think. I might be wrong. You'll have to tell me in the chat whether you are or not. But not bad at all. And you know what Newport are like as well. Very tough team to face in League Two. Always up there at the end of the season, no doubt, for the playoffs at the very least. But we are into the final 10 minutes of the first half. Goals, I would say, are flying in, but they're not massively flying in. We've had, 3 goals so far in 6 games. All of the away sides, fully enough, are winning right now. Bayern Munich 1-0 up, Juve 1-0 up, and Atalanta 1-0 up. Chelsea Zenit. not much going on. I'd like to sit here and say it's drama and there's action and I can sit here and talk about what's going on. There's just nothing going on. And I'd like to say the same about Kiev Benfica, but every time I glance over to the left-hand side of my TV screen, there's not really a great deal going on. There's been a few tackles flying in, a couple of yellow cards coming out for Kiev and Benfica, but apart from that, it's just gone a little bit quiet. Although there is going to be a chance here for Zenit. Going to be a corner for them. First corner of the game for the Russian side. Got a few players in the box that could get something on this. Asmun, he's fairly tall. Rakitsky has come up for it. It's going to be Claudinho who takes it. And if they could get a goal here, this would make things very interesting. You know, a couple of minutes before the end of the first half, it could change Thomas Tuchel's halftime team talk. So corner going to be taken short by Zenit. Lobbed into the box by Malcolm. It comes to Rakitsky at the edge of the box. I thought he was going to volley it first. He's gone for the shots, and well, it was a speculative effort. Tries to curl it into the top left-hand corner, but in the end, it's just straight into the hands of Eduard Mendy, and it'll class as a shot on target, at the very least, for the Russian side, but unfortunately, not the surprise goal we were expecting. And as I said, you know, first shot on target of the game, fully enough. No shots on target for Chelsea. As Sean has put in the chat, they are third. I thought you were. I know I've been keeping my eyes out on League Two, and you guys have been doing very, very good indeed from what I had been seeing. Absolutely flying in the league. But yes, 38 minutes on the clock in this game. I'm seeing Rowan's hands going up in the air. I don't know if there's been a dubious decision. There's no dubious decision. It's a goal. Who for?
It's for Villarreal. We've got an equaliser, and this game has been back and forth. It's Manu Trigueros, and it was, I think it could have been Yeremy Pino or it might be Moreno. I didn't see properly, but I know who finished it. It was Trigueros. Cross comes in, and it's really weak, and I don't know whether the ball comes in dipped or it's blocked, but it falls to Trigueros. All he has to do is put it past Juan Musa, but it was the passing's been poor from both teams, and Atalanta lose it. Moreno does cross it. It takes a big deflection off, I think that's Rafael. It was off Palomino. And then Freuler just doesn't get the ball. Trigueros, simple finish from just has to put it past Juan Musa. And he does smartly. It's a huge deflection off Palomino. But Trigueros right place, right time. Freuler's a bit off the mark. And it's 1-1 with 5 minutes left in this first half. And this game, especially this side, back and forth. Any side can win this game.
We said there were a lack of goals between them. Goals are going in now. Thank you very much, Rowan. 1-1 in that match. Two very good sides. Yes, Villarreal might be mid-table. Early days in the Liga, but you know they are they're in this competition for a reason, being the Europa League winners of last season. Big chance the game between Kiev and Benfica. It was Benfica with a chance. Free kick at the halfway line. Again, another chance actually, as I was talking there. Big chance at the halfway line. Free kick was played in. I think it was Pizzi who played the ball into the box. It was dinked towards Rafa on the left-hand side, the pacey Portuguese winger. The goalkeeper for Kiev does come out a little bit, and he tries to chip the keeper and lob the ball to the top right-hand corner of the goal. It's a really good idea, but he just puts a little bit too much on the chip, and in the end, it goes over the goalkeeper and over the goal and out of play for a goal kick. And then there was another chance I was speaking for Benfica. Roman Yaremchuk, you might remember that name, the Ukrainian, scored a couple of goals at the Euros against Netherlands. Had I think a chance about 25 yards out, powerful effort, struck really, really well with a lot of power, but in the end it was a fairly decent save from Boyko in the goal for Kiev. But Benfica knocking on the door now in this game. It is quite an even match. A little bit more exciting than the Chelsea Zenit game, but this one, I don't think it'll be staying 0-0 for much longer because Benfica are coming forward again, but nothing's going to come of it in the end. But yeah, this one a little bit more lively. As for, as I said, Chelsea Zenit, it's been a little bit quiet, this one, and I think it's very likely this one's going to end 0-0 at half-time, although there might be a chance here. Kovacic trying to flick a ball towards Lukaku. And in the end, I think it's going to be a corner for Chelsea. Slight deflection off one of the Zenit centre-backs. And just maybe there might be a chance here for one of these players to get a goal. And talking about chances, we're going back to Rowan. Chance for who this time?
It's Villarreal. And it's from a free kick. Parejo, an absolute pinger of a ball. Got so much pace in it. And Jared Moreno's wide open. He heads it. He actually does really well to head it. Tries to put it in the bottom left, and it's an incredible save by Juan Musso, who's really been tested in the past 5 minutes. And he's made a great save. And there's going to be a foul in the box there going the other side. But great save by Juan Musso, keeping his side in the game.
Very good chances indeed. Looks like it could be maybe a goal before half-time. We'll have to see. 1-1 between Villarreal and Atalanta. That seems to be the game of the night so far. Another chance in the Kiev-Benfica match. This time, Kiev coming forward. Sidorchuk, the midfielder, gets loads of space and time to run with the ball. He gets into the box, takes a very, very nimble effort at goal. Again, straight into the hands of the keeper. As I literally just said 2 seconds ago, we might get a goal in one of these games. Penalty in one of Rowan's game. Is it that Villarreal match?
Yeah, it's not. It's not. It is Malmo Juventus. And Lasse Nielsen has fouled Morata in the box. I think it is a foul, but they're just checking if he's offside. I'm just going to check here. Pulls Morata. I'm just looking here because that could have been a red. It's stopping a goal scoring opportunity, but he does try to play the ball, so it's not a red. It's definitely a penalty. I think they were just checking if he was offside, and it still will be checked. So they're saying the challenge is definitely a foul. It's just the offside decision.
Could be waiting a while, knowing with VAR.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, I'm about to say Dybala's standing over ready to take it, but he's waiting. I'll tell you if it's. I'll keep me here. I'll just be quiet.
I might as well keep you here. There was a little chance for Chelsea just before we get towards half time. Again, Reece James, ball on the right hand side. It's a really good whipped cross into the box. Romelu Lukaku gets a header onto it. It's a bit of an awkward angle for Lukaku. He's running into the box as he's trying to get the header. I think it's Rakitsky again who just tries to muscle him, gets a header, goes over the goal, out of play for a goal kick. Is it a penalty?
It is a penalty. Check over. And yeah, referee's telling the keeps get back in the net. It's going to have to be a big save from Diawara if he wants to keep Malmo in this game, especially against Dybala. There's a shot in the Villarreal game. I think he's going out for a corner. But Paulo Dybala, the Argentinian man, steps up. I think he's the captain tonight as well. Against Diawara. Does his run up. He hits it! Oh, and I think he's gone down the middle. It's in. But it's not the most convincing. I think Diawara goes right under him when he's diving, but it is in the back of the net. He hits it with enough power that he does find his way in the back of the net. And Juventus, since they scored that first goal, I think as you said, plain sailing from them now. And it's a lovely, he just hits him with a lot of power. Diawara is actually closer, that's why he's so angry with himself. But penalty to Juventus converted by Dybala. And it's 2-0 now, and it looks like plain sailing.
Could be game over already in that game. Thank you, Rowan. Might not be the most convincing penalty, but it's looking like it could be a convincing scoreline for Juventus. We did get a yellow card as well in the Chelsea game. Azpilicueta has just gone into the book. Just a little bit of a shoulder barge into one of the players. As the half-time whistle has blown in the Chelsea-Zenit game, it is 0-0 at half-time. Not many chances, to be honest with you, to scream and shout about. In fact, Chelsea haven't had a shot on target yet. The one shot on target was from Rakitsky from the very, very rare effort where Zenit had pushed forward into the attacking half of play. It was just outside the box after a corner was taken. Tried to curl it into the top left-hand corner, but it didn't come off. And in the end, that is the only chance to talk about. Chelsea are finding themselves in a very tough position against the Russian side, who are hoping they can get a point on the board, or maybe more, by the end of the first match day. But 0-0 as it stands between Chelsea and Zenit. Half-time between Dinamo Kiev and Benfica. Really good game, this one, actually. I'm not going to lie. Much better than Chelsea-Zenit. I'm tempted to flick them round because this one's more exciting. Quite a few decent chances for both teams in that Kiev-Benfica game. We'll talk about Kiev first. Two really good efforts. There was a free kick, which Shigankov took just from outside the box. But I'm going to stop for a second. Rowan's waving at me. There's another goal. Who's it to, Rowan?
It's to Juventus, and it's plain sailing. Rabiot plays the ball through. It comes off the defender after pressure from Dybala. Finds Morata one-on-one. He dinks it over the keeper, and it's not the easiest finish. The ball's hobbling and bouncing, and he managed to get control, dinks it over Diawara, and now it's game done. Plain sailing. I was correct. One final goal with like 20 seconds left. Dybala does really well in fairness because he draws in two of the centre-backs, allows Morata to go through. Goal is confirmed. Whistle will be blown straight away. And Juventus will go into the half 3-0 up. And it's half-time in the other game as well.
Cruising. Absolutely cruising. Very good indeed for Juve. Thank you very much, Rowan. I did think it was just half-time in the game, but goals flying in for Juventus tonight. 3 now. 2 in the space of about, 2 or 3 minutes. Half-time in Bayern Barcelona as well. There's a yellow card in the Lille game. The guard dog, that is John Brooks, for those of you wondering, has got himself a yellow card in that match. But that is the only game left that is going on just for a little bit longer, of course. We'll talk about, as I said, that Kiev-Benfica game. Kiev, of course, with a few chances. Shigankov with a free kick from about 20-25 yards out, hit the bar. There was a really decent effort for the midfielder. I can't remember his name off the top of my head for a second. Chaparenko, that's it. Who had a decent chance, but it was a scuffed effort at Vlachodimos. Benfica had a few chances of their own. Yaremchuk had a very good effort from outside of the box, 25 yards out. Powerful effort. Simple save for Boyko. And then there was a chance for Rafa Silva as well. Chipped effort. Tried to chip Boyko in goal. Just put a little bit too much power on it. And he went over the goal and out of play for a goal kick. But it's been a very, very lively game indeed. Lots of chances. Very even. Although Benfica have had 3/4 of the possession. They are certainly making the most of the opportunities. Kiev, in terms of the very few that they've had. So half-time in that game. And, of course, now it is half-time in those other matches as well. Lille Wolfsburg, half-time 0-0. For those of you who have said that are wondering, we'll go through the stats of each game. That covers us for half-time. Chelsea-wise, if you're wondering, I said only 1 shot on target in that game. It did come for Zenit. Chelsea have had 4 shots, none on target, with 64% possession. Zenit with 34% possession and obviously only 2 efforts, one of them on target, which was for the Kitski. As for the Kiev game, if you're wondering about that one, I said quite end-to-end in terms of the stats. 4 shots, 2 on target for Kiev. One of them was the free kick and then the effort from Chaparenko. And then there's been 6 shots, 1 on target for Benfica. The only shot on target was that Yaremchuk effort just about 5 or 10 minutes before the end of the first half. Let's bring the boys back in one by one. We'll go through both of their games. We'll talk through them. I think we've got to start with KD first. 2 games. One of them that's 0-0. One of them that is 1-0. We'll start with the game that's had the goal in it. Barcelona 0, Bayern Munich 1. Has it been as plain sailing as you expected for Bayern Munich?
I mean, in a way, yes. I mean, Barcelona have not really offered much when they go forward, but defensively, they've been quite resolute. Bayern Munich have pretty much dominated the majority of the first half and are truly deserve to be in front. I mean, the goal's very fortunate, but they do deserve to be ahead. They've been by far the better side. But Barcelona defending resolutely, and I mean, they've given themselves a chance, half a sniff in the second half to get something from this game, which easier said than done, I guess, against this Bayern Munich side.
Definitely so, and obviously looking at the stats of the game, I think you've pretty much perfectly put it into place. 5 shots, 3 on target for Bayern. No shots on target for Barca. 2 shots overall in the game. Even possession, 52%, 48, 52% going to Barcelona. What do Barca need to do to get back into this match? Because if we get their team up again, they have got players on the bench that can make a difference. Coutinho probably being the standout of the lot. What do they do to get back into this match?
I think they need someone quicker going up against Alphonso Davies. Because at the moment, Sergio Roberto's out there and he's getting absolutely destroyed, to be fair. Of course, not the quickest player. If they were to bring someone like Dest on maybe for him, replacement, go pace against pace, I think they might have a little bit more of a chance down that side. Because Alphonso Davies is going far forward as he always does, he's attacking fullback. And Pavard the same on the other side. So if they can get behind those fullbacks, create a bit of width, drag the centre-backs out, and the likes of Luke de Jong should be beating Upamecano in the air. So it's easy, like I said, it's easier said than done, but the Bayern Munich bench doesn't fill me with a lot of answers, to be fair, to the questions you're asking.
Yeah, it's not the strongest bench from Barca in the world. It's got a few, of course, young talents on there. But nobody, as I said, apart from Coutinho, maybe that's a standout to come on at some point. And then obviously the other game, Lille Wolfsburg, 0-0 at half-time. As you've been coming in out of the stream, a couple of decent chances, it sounds like, in that game, and a very enjoyable match overall, I'm guessing.
It's been a decent watch. Don't get me wrong. I mean, both sides maybe a little bit naive and scared to maybe commit that many men forward. You never want to lose your first game in the Champions League. Of course, you can afford to lose it, but you never really want to lose it. Both of these sides want something from this game. You can tell that with the way they're playing. They're both playing at the moment for a draw, I think, but maybe Wolfsburg need to step it up a little bit. Wout Weghorst not really been in the game at all. Same I could say for Burak Yilmaz, apart from that half chance that he had earlier on in the game and the free kick. Get the strikers involved a little bit more. That's all I can really say, because both sides are using the width really well. And I mean, Ridley Baku is just Ridley Baku. He's been quite good in this half, I'm not going to lie. And that's me taking my my Ridley Baku cap off.
It's not been bad at all, has it? I mean, well, I'm looking at the stats. Obviously, Wolfsburg, no shots, none on target. They've had the most possession, 58%. Lille, 6 shots, 2 on target, 42% possession. As you said, is it a little bit of a fear of going forward? Obviously, Wolfsburg haven't been in this competition for a good few years now. Lille have been in and out of it over the last couple of years. Is it that fear of knowing that if you do lose that first game, especially in the group that they're in, which I'll get back up on the screen again for everyone, Lille and Salzburg being in there, is there a fear that if they drop points in that group, every point dropped could be the difference between qualifying as the team at the top and maybe being knocked out at the bottom?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a problem for all these teams that are in here. From now on, I mean, these two teams that are playing right now have got a massive chance to get an advantage on Sevilla and Salzburg, who drew early on. I'm probably sure a lot of people would have expected Sevilla to win that and potentially win this group because they have the European pedigree and stuff. But I mean, it's a massive chance for one of these two sides to really grab the group by the scruff of the neck and kind of put their name on the group, put their stamp on the group. But at the moment, neither of the two sides, they just look a little bit toothless in front of Ghana. Wolfsburg yet to have a shot. Lille, popping shots off from range, but nothing really to trouble Casteels in the goal. But Wolfsburg, they've got the ball. They just need that final pass to click, and I'm sure that they'll be in. But
we'll have to see whether or not they can get in front of goal before the end of the match. As I said, 0-0 between Lille and Wolfsburg. And of course, the Barca-Bayern game, 1-0 as it stands. Thank you very much, KD. We'll bring KD back in a little bit. We've got 2 more games to look at now. Rowan is stealing all of the goals tonight. He's had, 5 goals in his 2 games. Where do we start? I think the easiest one to start is Malmo Juve. First 20-25 minutes, you were saying to us, it was against the run of play, Malmo, getting into the match. But now, we're sat here, 2 goals in 2 minutes. They're 3-0 down. This game looks like it's going to be done and dusted before we've even made the second half.
Yeah, you literally summed it perfectly. First, from minute 0 to minute 0, it's not from minute 1 to basically until Alexandro scored. Malmo were playing well. I think he's a right back, Berget, I don't know how you pronounce it anyway. He's been causing a lot of problems on the right, trying to cross it into Čolak and Mincevic, the 2 top goal scorers for Malmo. But as soon as that goal went in for Juventus, Malmo, I think, were just trying to get the ball forward. And in that, it just allowed, I think we had a couple of opportunities for the second goal. Like Rabiot would just take the ball and he'd just keep on driving and driving. And he went for an absolute audacious attempt from 60 yards out. But I think panic set in for Malmo, unfortunately. And then when they eventually did calm their heads, because I think they got not back into it, I'd say, but sort of calm them nerves, I think, of going multiple goals down quick. They then conceded another, and then they conceded another. It was just a collapse. And I mean, if they somehow come back, it could be one of the greatest Champions League comebacks we've ever seen. But I don't see it personally. But they have played well. I think it's such a shame that goal went in when it did, because I think we could be sorry at halftime saying this is a 1-1 game. So if they were set on for getting a first goal, they really were. But sometimes it happens. Sometimes the bigger teams overwhelm you. Then that's what Juventus have done right now.
Yeah, and that's what they're doing. You look at the stats of the game: 3 shots, none on target for Malmo, 35% possession. As you would expect, not going to have much of the ball. Juve, 9 shots, 4 on target, 3 goals, 65% possession. You obviously looking at it the other side, rather than it being a potential incredible comeback, the risk as well that runs in the very first game back in the Champions League is an absolute decimation. And I think the last thing you'd want is to go 5, 6, 7 goals down in your first game, because obviously goal difference could be key in that section of the group, depending on who finishes third. Depending, if Zenit lose tonight, depending on how many goals Chelsea score, which I don't think they'll score many, but it could be goal difference that it comes down to. What do Malmo do? Do they sit back and defend and hope that they don't concede anymore, or do they try and go for it and risk pushing players forward and conceding? It's a tough situation as a manager, isn't it? When you're in that,
it really is. Because they're already playing 5 at the back, so did they go 6? Did they go 7? 2 of the centre backs have already got yellow cards. Now, if you want them players available for I don't know who they've got next, whether it's Chelsea or Zenit. But do you want them centre backs available? Are you going to risk them getting sent off? It's a very tough decision. I think if I'm the manager, you just stick at what you're doing. Maybe put another midfielder in and go one up front, because it looks like you're not going to get in the game. But all it takes is an early goal, and maybe momentum can switch. But I think you've just got to batten down the hatches and just hope that you don't concede anymore. It's a tough situation.
It could be a long night. It could be a very long 45 minutes. And I guess the other game is the opposite. It could be a very quick 45 minutes. Villarreal-Atalanta, obviously, to me, sound like the game of the night so far. 2 goals in it. Sounds end-to-end. Sounds like there's been plenty of chances.
Yeah.
What's it been like?
It's really been a 50-50 game, or if we can't have an even game, 55-45 to Villarreal way, but really good game so far, good intensity. I think a player who kind of surprised, I don't think you'd expect it, Zappacosta as that right back, right wing back. Incredible, just causing not even problems. It's just he will get the ball and he will go on the right, cross balls in. Unfortunately, Zapata hasn't been able to get onto the end of them, but keep on trying and eventually it will work. He's had a good game. Freuler in the middle for Atalanta. And as for Villarreal, it's a very similar story. This time it's Trigueros being sort of the main playmaker, trying to play through to Gerard Moreno. And the problem is, when do these teams make the changes? Do they make one at half-time and go really impact subs? Or do they stick how it is? Because it's working for both sides. It really is. Because if you look at the bench of Villarreal, you can bring on a Paco Alcácer, Danjuma, Coquelin if you want on the midfield, just give a bit of fresher legs. But you've got Danjuma and Paco that you can bring on, who can definitely make an impact, especially with Villarreal sort of playing a 2 up front with Dia and Moreno switching in and out onto that left wing to striker. As for Atalanta, again, they've got talent coming off Joachim Mæhle, but Joachim Mæhle will come on for Zappacosta, and you're not taking Zappacosta. And same with Gosens, both fullbacks having great games. I think we will see Koopmans on for De Roon on a yellow card. Maybe Josip Ilicic, Pasalic, because Zapata hasn't done much, so I could see Ilicic coming on for him, or even Pessina. But it's just been an even game, nothing to separate both sides.
Yeah, as you said, stats-wise, it's even 55-45 Villarreal with more possession, 55, of course. 8 shots, 5 on target for Villarreal, 6 shots, 2 on target for Atalanta. Obviously, we know what Atalanta bring to the table. They're an attacking side. They tend to score lots of goals each season. Villarreal are quite the opposite. They tend to be more defensive, organised. Yeah. We saw it, in the past in the Europa League. They're a very organised team. It's not a case of do tactics go out of the window. Do you change your game style slightly? When a team like Atalanta come to your ground, you expect them to push numbers forward.
Yeah.
Play that free at the back system, which is always quite attacking. Do you change the system and match them, or do you say, no, we stick and be organised?
You stick to what you know, don't you? Sometimes it just comes down to what your team is best at. And both teams are doing that, and it's paying off. Villarreal defended very well, and if I'm right, the goal did come from a counter. It was a slow counter, but it was a counter of letting Atalanta come forward, and they've done it a lot. It's the reason why they probably Villarreal opponents have had more possession, because they'll just let Atalanta come, they'll let them do quick attacks, and Villarreal will just take the ball, slow the game down. But pace could be a huge difference here. And the team's back out. It's about to kick off again, but I don't think there's any changes. If I'm right, I don't think there is. The team looks exactly the same, but a big second half for both sides, because if they obviously, in what is a tough group, and with the result earlier especially, whoever wins this game is setting themselves up well for the next round. For the next set of fixtures, really looks probably top in the group. Oh, well, they'll be joint top, won't they? So it'll be very interesting as that game's got underway. And I don't know about Malmo. I'm seeing a net. It's a very nice looking net. But
we'll have to see. Probably kick off in the next minute or two. No, mine have kicked off. No doubt KD's have. So we'll let you go, Rowan. We'll bring Rowan back in as the goals go in, as he said earlier. Plenty of goals for Rowan. 5 overall, 3 Juventus game, 2 in that Villarreal-Atalanta match. As we are underway with all of the 6 matches in the Champions League match day number 1, Barcelona currently 1-0 down to Bayern Munich. Chelsea very nearly going 1-0 up against Zenit. Ziyech with I can't believe to speak, an effort from outside of the box, volley. Not a great deal of power on it. It's on the floor, it's on the ground, it's bobbling. Quite an easy save in the end for the goalkeeper, but a decent chance, I guess. And the first chance on target for Chelsea of the match. Kiev Benfica, 0-0 as it stands in that one. I don't think that'll be staying 0-0 for much longer. Lille Wolfsburg, 0-0. Again, a little bit of cautiousness in the air about going forward between those two sides, but Lille looking the better of the two in terms of chances. Juve, Malmo have got a very long 45 minutes to come potentially, and then the Villarreal-Atalanta match, probably the one to keep your eyes out for. If you're a neutral and you're looking for a game to put on for 45 minutes, then I would probably recommend putting the Villarreal-Atalanta match on, because that sounds like a corker of a game in terms of in comparison to the rest of them at the very least. But as I said, back underway now. I've just seen Rotherham United have conceded, so I'm back to being miserable. I haven't seen Rowan celebrate. Oldham are getting relegated. He celebrated Oldham getting relegated. Nobody wants to see that. But yeah, back underway in our games in the Champions League. Don't forget, as Carl has put in the chat, you can, of course, check out our social media. Look at this. We'll fly through these. There it is. So if you want to check out our social media, to see when we go live on our channel, as always, links are in the description and in the comments, as Cal very kindly does as always. Twitter and Instagram links are in the description. In the chat, Cal did put, I remember BBC ITV used to show Champions League games. It was ITV, but then stopped. Wish they'd bring them back so I could watch them when my stations don't. I'm pretty sure in Ireland, they were doing, I think it was free games. They were streaming free games or something. I don't know if you know about that, Cal, but they were streaming games for free on a certain service today. But apparently the games were 2 minutes behind. Like, they were 2 minutes behind, and I think there was no commentary or something. You might know what I'm talking about, but I saw something about it earlier on today. It's not really what you want, is it, when you stream like 2 minutes behind? I'm pretty sure like you could probably watch it on a betting site and it'd still be quicker than a stream from them. But yeah, as I said, back underway. We're about less than 5 minutes into the rest of the games. Of course, there is actually league action going on tonight as well. Just having a quick gander around to see what's going on in league football. Hull are losing. Oh dear, that's a shame for Hull. Obviously, Rotherham drawing. Sheffield United drawing. Not really much going on in terms of EFL football. Bournemouth winning as well. So a few decent results. But chance here for Chelsea. Coming forward, Rudiger's done on an incredible run and very nearly scored an incredible solo own goal. I mean, the best way to describe it is if you do watch the Bundesliga, you'll know Upamecano likes to go on driving runs where he'll just push forward. He'll go 40, 50 yards. Rudiger comes in from his own half. He dances around 2-3 centre defenders, gets into the middle of the box, and you're just thinking, shoot. He does. But he just doesn't get the trajectory on the ball to place it into the bottom right-hand corner. And I mean, that would have been an incredible solo goal had Rudiger have put that in the back of the net. But this is much better from Chelsea in the first 5 or so minutes of the game. Much better than what it was in the first half. They didn't have a single shot on target. They've already had one shot on target in the second half. And as I said there, a little chance from Rudiger to score an absolute screamer on the first match day of the Champions League. And talking about match days, obviously did say earlier, there are other things to come on the channel over the next few days. For those of you that are wondering, it will come up in a second. The wonders of technology. It will come up at some point. We'll wait and see when it comes up. But as we said before, we've got Europa League and Conference League still to come on Wednesday. And on Thursday, not Wednesday. We've got Champions League on Wednesday. I would have known that if the video had loaded. It's still loading. There we go. We got there in the end. Boom. Matchday Goal Show. Finally got there. Tomorrow, me, KD and Rowan are back again. 10-8. Some brilliant games tomorrow night. Conference League and the Europa League on Thursday. Me and Rowan are doing the early games. And then I think it'll be me and KD doing the later games. If everyone wants to join us, then he's more than welcome to. Conference League and Europa League. That's Thursday. And then after that, League action, Valencia Real Madrid. That's on Sunday night. I'm going to do that. Top of the table clash in the Liga. Should be a good game, that one. And then on Tuesday, Fiorentina against Inter Milan. Saucy game, saucy teams, saucy channel. Love it. Like, back to Champions League again. Chelsea 0, Zenit 0. 51 minutes on the clock. Zenit coming forward here. Malcolm feeds a ball into Azmoun. Gets a corner. That's probably as good as the night's got for Azmoun so far. 51 minutes in. He's probably had his second touch of the game. But corner here for Zenit. And if you were watching earlier, you'll remember the last time Zenit did have corner. Very nearly scored. Rakitsky with a chance. But whether or not they can get an opportunity here, we'll have to see. Because they're not going to get a great deal of opportunities tonight, the Zenit side. And they've got to make the most of the set pieces. So chance here for Zenit. Can they make the most of it? It's going to be Barrios this time taking the free kick. And it needs to be a good in-swinger. Everyone's up for it. Rakitsky's one of them. Going to be taken short by Zenit. Lobbed into the box. Well, I'd like to say lobbed into the box, but it didn't even make it past the first man. So didn't even get lobbed into the box. It's gone straight out of play for a Chelsea throw-in. And rightly so, the Zenit manager not happy in the slightest with the set piece there. Manager, of course, being... I'm saying, of course, like everybody know him. Sergei Semak is the manager for Zenit. If you don't watch Russian football, you probably don't know who he is. But definitely not happy on the touchline tonight with how Zenit have been using the set pieces. Although saying that, they're going to come forward again here, Zenit. Just starting to get a bit of a foothold in the game here. Claudini on the right-hand side. Going to lay the ball off to Wendell, the Brazilian. In the end, Marcus Alonso's got the ball back. But the linesman disagrees. He's going to give it as a throw-in for Zenit. And again, the Russians just need to make the most of the possession that they've got here. Because so far, they've not had a great deal in terms of first half action. Second half action. If they can just get a foothold, make the most of the possession when they get it, they could get a goal. They've got good enough players up top to do so. Malcolm, being a former Barcelona player, former Bordeaux man, he knows how to put the ball in the back of the net. I'm pretty sure he scored the winning goal for the Olympics as well, didn't he? If I'm right. But they've got another corner here, Zenit. And another chance to maybe bag a goal. Daz asked, what shall I drink? Carling or cider? Whatever you want. I don't know. It's your choice at the end of the day. If you want a Carling or cider, whatever you're feeling. If you're feeling fruity, go cider. If you're feeling Carling, go Carling. I don't really know. Whatever's best for you. Corner for Zenit, though. Could be lobbed into the box. Good defending by Christensen. Heads it straight out. And again, it's another set piece by Zenit not taken. And then a very speculative long-range effort from Wilmar Barrios. That is always going wide of the mark, away from goal. And it goes out of play for a goal kick. As I've just seen Blackburn have gone 2-0 up now against Hull. Not a good night for Hull, is it? Rowan's celebrating in the background. We'll celebrate while KEL's not here. We've got a few weeks to do that. Chelsea with possession in the defensive half of play. This is when you can tell there's nothing going on. I've got to wait for some form of action to happen. And here is the action because Marcus Alonso is driving down the left-hand side. Ball into the box. And good defending in the end by Zenit. This time Barrios, who heads the ball out. And it does come back to Chelsea. You're going to come forward again here. It's going to be Marcus Alonso into Ziyech. Oh, this could be brilliant. Ziyech is in the box. Lukaku's calling for it. And he's just timed the ball a little bit too late, Ziyech. Lukaku had already made the run forward. By the time Ziyech had played the ball into the middle of the box, it was just too little too late for the Belgian. But this is better from Chelsea. We've been waiting for this. I'm saying clinical edge. They haven't technically scored yet, but we've been waiting for a bit more of an attacking prowess by them. And they're just coming to life now, an hour into this game. I'd like to say the same about the other games tonight, but we haven't had a goal in the second half yet. Hopefully we do get one fairly soon. Chance, though, in the Kiev Benfica game. Good chance for Yaremchuk inside the box and has just missed an absolute sitter. Should probably be 1-0 to the Portuguese side. And if you are watching that game, it is a very, very big chance missed by the Ukrainian. Of course, coming up against his respective nation. Not his nation's team. He's a team from his nation, if whatever you want to call it, basically. As there is another chance for Chelsea. Reece James inside the box with an effort that hits the side netting. Chances galore for me now, actually coming to life in this game. But what I will say is Lukaku it's so nice to see Lukaku back at Chelsea, because I think there were so many plaudits for him last season at Inter. Brilliant player in that 2-striker formation. You know, he'd got Lautaro who could run off him, could put the ball in the back of the net. You know, he got the pace and the skills. I think Lukaku has got a bit of skill about him, but I think this Chelsea system suits him so well. His hold-up play in this game has been immaculate so far. You know, being that striker up top on his own, he can just hold the ball. And so far, I think he's been very good indeed. But we're going to go over to KD because there's been a goal in one of his games. Is it Bayern Munich? Is it Lille or Wolfsburg? Who is it, Kieren?
Sorry, I've got chips in my gob. It's 2-0 to Bayern Munich. And again, it's another very fortunate goal for Bayern Munich. Alphonso Davies takes a pop shot. It deflects off Sergio Roberto's back to Musiala, who takes a shot, hits the post. And Lewandowski's got an open net to tap into, and he's not going to miss from 4 yards out with an open net. 2-0. I've got chips in my mouth. 2-0. And I think that might be game over.
I think it might be game over indeed. Thank you very much, KD. I'll let you go back to eating your chips. See, if you were to watch BT Sport or whatever your respective gold show is in the world, you wouldn't get that type of content. So if you want to stick with us for the future, we do this gold show every 2 weeks for the Champions League, the Europa League and the Conference League. So if you do want to join us, do give us a like and a subscription. But as Kieren said there, is he hopefully doesn't choke on his chips with that goal. Probably gave him a bit of a shock with the unexpected nature of how it's gone in. But Bayern Munich are now 2-0 against Barcelona. Brilliant performance again for him, isn't it? Look, yeah, even when they're scoring goals that aren't great, and they're like, I think that'd be the second goal technically, where it's been deflected, they're still pummeling Barcelona. And well, there's still at least half an hour left for them to score a few more if they want. And talk about goals, chance for Chelsea here. Ball lobbed into the box by Christensen. Doesn't get to anyone. And again, Zenit doing quite well defensively in this game. And in fact, they're going to come forward now. Here's Asmoon. That's his third touch of the game. He's going to try and lead Zenit on the attack here. Ball towards Claudinho, too heavy. Claudinho coming up against Christensen. What does Claudinho do? Pretty much gets Christensen in a headlock and chucks him to the ground. I don't think you're going to be able to continue your attack there, Claudinho. And rightly so, the referee gives a free kick for it. But yeah, Bayern Munich are 2-0 up in their game now. Looking very, very comfortable indeed. I'm still trying to keep an eye out on the Rotherham game. Rotherham's still 1-1. Not great, is it, at all? Not liking that whatsoever. But going to the Kiev-Benfica game, there's going to be 2 changes in that match for Benfica. And one of them is Mr. Valentino Lazaro, who you might recognise as the former Inter Gladbach man. He's going to be coming onto the pitch in a second for Benfica. So changes galore in that game. Going back to the Chelsea match. And there was a chance, a very minuscule chance for Chelsea to come forward. It was a ball to Mount on the left-hand side. And I've got to say, I've not actually seen much of Mount in this game, to be honest with you. He's been very, very quiet indeed. Rowan has said, I'm not going to say this game has been exciting because it has been exciting, but in terms of the second half action, Rowan has said Emery looks like he's trying to squeeze a shit out. I mean, that's probably what Emery's usually like. I'm pretty sure he's quite animated on the touchline because when the Super Cup was on, if you did watch it, I'm pretty sure he was doing paces of the touchline in that match. But not much in terms of goals in the second half yet. But it is 1-1 between Villarreal and Atalanta, and I think we might get 1 or 2 more goals before the end of that game. There has been a substitution, or a couple of substitutions actually in the Barca game. KD said that Busquets has come off and Gavi's come on, and then Demirs has come off for Roberto. That's on, not off. So a change there in that match, or 2 changes at least for Barcelona. They've got to try and go for it now, and that's a real shame because I got Busquets down to get a yellow card in this match, and he's been subbed off, so I'm absolutely fuming about that. As they've got to go attacking, haven't they? And Gavi being a little bit more creative, he will, of course, push Barcelona up. They're going to have to get at least 2 goals back in that game against Bayern Munich, or else it's going to be first day disappointment, isn't it, for Barcelona in the Champions League in match day 1. And of course, all eyes will be on Kiev and Benfica as well, because if one of these 2 teams can get themselves 3 points on the board, then there could be a potential chance Barcelona finish at the bottom of the group in match day 1. And I mean, look, it's only one match day, isn't it? But I think for Kiev or Benfica, if you can get 3 points on the board, it will put you in very good stead for your later matches. Because, of course, I think politely for Kiev and Benfica, this is their game to go out there and get the points. This will be the decider of who probably finishes third. But you never know with Barcelona. There is still a long, long way to go in terms of that match and the Barca game as well. But we're now an hour in to all the matches tonight, and it looks like Chelsea are going to make their first change, and Kai Havertz is getting ready to come on, it looks like. So whether Kai Havertz can bring a little bit of class to this game, obviously scored the winning goal in the Champions League final last year. They are lacking that right now, as Rakitsky is going to go into the book, and a free kick is going to be given to Chelsea for a potential chance for that to be whipped into the box. And rightly so. It is a good decision from the referee. Just puts his foot out. Mount goes down. Very simple decision for the ref. 3 changes in the Villarreal game. Rowan has put Capu, Trigueros and Dia have come off. Coquelin, Gomez and Danjuma making his Champions League debut. That one's very nice to see. He's coming onto the pitch for Villarreal. So a couple of changes for the Italian side. A couple of changes for the Spanish side in their game against the Italians. And a change, of course, in that game between Chelsea and Zenit. Havertz, as I said before, he is coming on. Ziyech is coming off. Okay night, I guess you could say, for Ziyech. Subtle skills here and there from him, but not really much in terms of the final third. What Kai Havertz is going to bring is no doubt a little bit more of a clinical edge and a bit more pace. And we've seen him before when he does play that wide system, especially when he played it for Germany at the Euros. He can be very lethal. A very, very lethal player indeed. But there is a free kick for Chelsea. Maybe he could get the first goal of the match. It's going to be lobbed in by Mason Mount. Sorry, Marcus Alonso's going to lob it in. It comes towards Havertz. And in the end, he doesn't get the header. The ball bobbles out to Kovacic. But in the end, I think the referee had given a free kick before Kovacic was even able to get a shot on goal. And I don't really see much in terms of the free kick, to be honest with you. But it will be a free kick in the end for Zenit. Oh, no. Not good news in the Wolfsburg game. Ridley Baku's gone off. Baku's gone off for Luca Bacchio. KD doesn't want to watch his game anymore. He's been ruined. He's only had, an hour on the pitch and they've taken him off. So Baku's off for Luca Bacchio, the new man who's signed on loan from Hertha Berlin. And then Renato Steffen has come off for Luka Waldschmidt. Of course, he's joined from Benfica. KD saying he wants Mark van Bommel out. He's not happy that Baku's been taken off an hour into his game. But we'll have to see whether or not it's going to be a good decision from Van Bommel or a bad decision. Because if none of those players score, I think even if they do score, to be fair, I think KD would say it's a bad substitution anyway, regardless of if they scored or not. But about 25 minutes left. Probably most of the games, I would have said. Bayern Munich 2-0 against Barca. Chelsea 0-0 against Zenit St. Petersburg. Kiev still 0-0 against Benfica. Not having a fair share of goals tonight, am I? Lille 0, Wolfsburg 0. Still, maybe a bit of cautiousness about the two teams in their game. Malmo 3-0 down to Juve. And Villarreal 1, Atalanta 1. As Chelsea are going to get themselves a corner. But there has been a red card in one of the games in KD's matches. Who's been sent off?
Well, I mentioned earlier about the guard dog getting a yellow card. He has received his second yellow card and is walking off the pitch. So they've already taken their best player off, being Baku. Now they've lost their best defender and their captain in John Brooks. So, I mean, Wolfsburg now got a massive task on their hands. Lille should be coming on to win this game now. They've been by far the better side in the second half. And it's actually a handball he's been sent off on, not a foul or anything like that. It's a handball. Well done, John. Well done.
It's a disastrous day for Wolfsburg, or it's looking like one at the least. Thank you, Kieren. 10 men now for Wolfsburg. Red card. The guard dog is off in what's supposed to be his last season in Germany, potentially. The guard dog decides to start in the Champions League with a red card. It's not what you want to see. As Katie says, it's karma for taking off Baku. Maybe it is. You never know. Chelsea did take that corner in the meantime. It hasn't come to anything. And I will say here, Zenit, I know there's a long way still to go in this match. There's 25 minutes left. I think they really could be on course here to maybe get a nice surprise result. They look really resolute, really organised. Chelsea haven't done much in terms of big chances. There was that one opportunity earlier on in the game where Ziyech tried to feed the ball to Lukaku. While they're saying that, Chelsea coming forward here. Marcos Alonso. This would make me eat my words if they scored. Alonso on the left wing. Finds himself in a really awkward position. He's done very well to keep the ball. Plays it to Kovacic. Comes back to him again. Can Chelsea get something here and make me eat my words? Ball on the left-hand side. Havertz. Back to Alonso. He's inside the box. Plays it out to Kovacic, who tries to feed the ball to Lukaku. Comes back to Chelsea again. Jorginho. Now Azpilicueta. Still waiting for something to happen. They're passing it about and they're giving the ball away. And now Zenit can come forward and counter. Asmoon with his 4th touch of the game. Where's he going to play it to? He's going to play it to the left-hand side. Douglas Santos, the captain, tries to push his team forward, the Brazilian. I don't think anything's going to come from it. No, in fact, Zenit are giving the ball away now. And it's a chance here for Havertz. And it's a ball towards Lukaku. And it's poor. It's really poor from Havertz. That ball, all he had to do was feed it to Lukaku. It was a really intricate pass, I think you could say. And he just doesn't lay it off to the Belgian. And had he have laid it off, I think Lukaku, with his pace and power, would have probably been through on goal. But end-to-end at this stage of the match between Chelsea and Zenit. What about the game between Barca and Bayern? Bayern Munich 2-0 up against Barcelona. A couple more changes in that game. Eric Garcia is off and Migueza is on. Luke de Jong has come off and Coutinho is on. But I'm going to stop for a second because Zenit are in here. Douglas Santos with an effort, which has been saved by Mendy. Again, another chance very similar to that Rakitsky one. They just tried to curl it into the top right-hand corner and it hasn't come off in the end. And another chance, unfortunately, that has gone wide of the mark. But it's become a little bit more end-to-end now. This is what you want to see in the Champions League. Kiev still 0-0 against Benfica in that other match. Not much to talk about in that game, if I say so myself, as there's been a couple more changes in the game between Lille and Wolfsburg. Obviously, Wolfsburg down to 10 men. Nemecha and Bornau coming on. Philip and Weghorst off as Chelsea have scored. Who else but Romelu Lukaku, who gets his first UCL goal in a Chelsea shirt. And it comes, I'm not even going to say off the run of play, because I think Lukaku has absolutely deserved something in this game. But the Belgian, he gets his first UCL goal in a Chelsea shirt. And Chelsea have taken the lead in this match against Zenit. They have been partially knocking on the door in the last 15 or 20 minutes. And to talk you through the goal a little bit more, because I need to see on the replay, it was a header from Lukaku, but I didn't get to see a great deal of it. So the ball was on the left-hand side of the pitch. It came to Kovacic, who then switched it to the right-hand side of the pitch. It was a long ball into the box towards Lukaku, who's towards the near post. It is Azpilicueta who whips it in, and Lukaku rises highest. He beats Satorm into the ball. He's at the near post. It's a comfortable header. And just like that, Chelsea, the champions, the defending champions, let's not forget, are 1-0 up in this clash against Zenit. And the Russians, who would carefully try to defend to get a point, are now going to have to change up their tactics. As I think that's Lukaku's his 4th goal now in 3 games for Chelsea. I think it's something like that. He's on fire, as you would expect from the Belgian. And we have a goal in one of my games, which is very nice indeed. Couple of changes in some of the other matches. Juventus make a few changes, obviously 3-0 up now, very comfortable. Moise Keane coming on for Morata, and Weston McKennie coming on for Bentancur. Obviously, can rest a few players now. They're truly well, comfortably in the lead against the Swedish side. And then Gnabry has come on for Musiala in the Bayern game again. 2-0 up, 20 minutes left. Probably fairly comfortable to get the 3 points in that match against Barcelona. Going through the other games, Kiev still 0 against Benfica. Not much to talk about in that game. And Villarreal still 1-1 against Atalanta. Whether or not there's going to be enough time to see a winner in that game, we will have to see. But for now, it's 1-1 in that match. Plenty of time to go across the board in these Champions League games. Are we going to see any late winners? Any dramatic moments to start the season? We'll have to find out. As Chelsea coming forward again, ball towards Lukaku. Rakitsky done very well to defend it. Hits the ball long towards Asmoon. But Asmoon gets nowhere near the ball. And Chelsea will get the ball back. There's been 4 attempts on target in the game. 2 for Chelsea, 2 for Zenit. And that most important one is the Lukaku header. That's gone into the back of the net and put them in the lead. And that is what Lukaku's going to bring to the table. You know, Werner last season, he did score goals. Was offside a hell of a lot, of course, as well. But Lukaku is a big game player. And in those moments where Chelsea, you know, I'm going to stop for a second. They are through again here. Might be a chance. And one turn too many in the end. I think it was Havertz there trying to dance his way around the Zenit defence. But we'll leave that for now. And we'll come back to this Chelsea game in a second. Because there has been a chance in one of KD's matches. Who is it for, Kieren?
Yeah, it's a chance for Lille, and it's probably the best chance of the game. I'm not going to lie, it's been quite a boring second half apart from that red card. It was a chance for Yilmaz, of course it was. Who else for Lille? And it's a flicked-on header by Jose Fontes as the ball comes into the box. And he's pretty much square on with the goalkeeper, and he just heads it straight into Castillo's hands. Anywhere else, and it would have been a goal because of the direction of the ball. All he had to do was just redirect that energy anywhere else other than where Casteels was standing, but of course, straight into the hands of the goalkeeper. It's a bad miss. And Lille knocking on the door a little bit, obviously dominating the ball now. The Wolfsburg down to 10 men. Bayern Munich might be in here with Goretzka who shoots, and it's a poor effort straight to Stegen. But yeah, 0-0 still, and 2-0 to Bayern still.
Thank you very much, KD. Hopefully we'll see maybe a chance in that game between Lille and Wolfsburg for a goal. We'll have to see. Obviously, Wolfsburg down to 10 men, so Lille no doubt will push forward in desperation to try and get themselves a winning goal and get the first 3 points of the season on the board in the Champions League. There has been another change in the Villarreal game. Moreno has come on for Yeremy Pino. So Alberto Moreno, of course, that is, not Gerrard. He's been on the pitch for quite a while, but plenty of time for a winner in that game. Talk about winners. Chelsea 1-0 up. Lukaku might have got the winning goal in this game. But they are going to make a change then. Artem Zhuba is coming on, which means I feel like, I don't know if Asmoon will stay on or not, because I think he was on international duty, so he might come off in a second. Probably go 2 up top. I think that would be the most reasonable thing for them to do in that game. But we'll have to see if Zenit can get themselves a goal. And talking about goals, there is a goal. Who to, Rowan? He's celebrating.
He's not been on the pitch long, but Arnaud Danjuma has made it 2-1 to Villarreal. Jan Moreno plays the ball through, and Arnaud Danjuma is just behind the defence. He puts it past Musa, makes it 2-1. And I can't really say if it was coming or not, because it's been different. I would say Villarreal had the better men, but it was one back, and then Moreno just the quickest of the mark to flick it on. Danjuma's in behind it with Remo Freuler, who loses it to Danny Parejo. Moreno plays it through the 2 defenders. It takes a major deflection, but it doesn't matter because Danjuma's there. Lovely, smart finish past the keeper. 2-1 Villarreal. I only need 3 more corners and I've won a bet, which is a very rare. But more importantly, Danjuma has bagged 2-1 to Villarreal. On the other game, Moise Kean did score, but he was offside. And then there were a couple of Malmo subs.
Looks like you might be winning as well as Villarreal tonight, Rowan, depending on those corners.
It's £7, but Rowan doesn't win bets.
Hey, £7 is £7. Every penny counts, and every goal counts as well for Villarreal. 2-1 up against Atalanta in that game. Of course, Danjuma on his Champions League debut, getting a Champions League goal. That's what you want to see. As I said, Zenit making changes. Zhuba is on. The man who has had a very interesting couple of months at Zenit. He's on the pitch. He has been relied on here to get a winner. As I said, if you don't know why Zhuba's not in the good books at Zenit, go and Google it. It's an interesting story. But what would be more interesting is if he was to bag an equaliser for Zenit, because there's 15 minutes left. There is time, and they're going for it. Malcolm has come off, which I think is a bit of a shame, because I think he's a player who can make a difference in a match like this. But it is quite clear they're going to go two up top in this game and see if they can go for it and maybe see if they could get an equaliser. But 2 changes there for Zenit. I didn't get to see what the other change was. I'm going to quickly have a look and see who it was now. It was Wendell who came off and a midfield called Yerikin who's come onto the pitch for the last couple of minutes. Remember, 5 changes as well can be made in the Champions League this season. So they haven't changed the rule there, which is quite interesting. Obviously, I think most of the leagues have gone back to the 3 subs again, I think. But Champions League staying with a 5. So still time for plenty of substitutions across the board in all of the matches, no doubt. Chelsea coming forward here, though. Lukaku inside the box on the left wing. He's going to try and lay the ball off to Marcos Alonso, whose run is just a little bit too late for Lukaku's pass. And Alonso runs past the ball, as then it are going to get a free kick in their own half. Time running out in this match, as is time running out across the board. Let's go through all of the games very quickly. Obviously, we had 2 early kickoffs earlier this afternoon. Sevilla 1, Red Bull Salzburg 1. 4 penalties in the first half of that game. 3 of them were missed. 2 of them were missed, actually, from Red Bull Salzburg. Very interesting game. 1-1, though. Very good result for Salzburg. Obviously, Young Boys with a late winner against Manchester United. 2-1 win in their game. And, of course, tonight's matches. Bayern Munich still 2-0 up against Barca. Chelsea 1-0 up against Zenit. Lukaku, who else with a goal? Kiev Benfica still 0-0. That one's just fizzled out a little bit in comparison to the first half. Lille 0-0 against Wolfsburg. Wolfsburg down to 10 men. Still time for a winner in that game. Juventus probably already winning against Malmo. 3-0 up, coasting to victory. And then Villarreal, Danjuma with his first Champions League goal against Atalanta. The Europa League winners might be starting with a Champions League win, which would be very, very nice for them if they were to do so in their match. But plenty of time, as I said, left in all of the games. Can we get any more late drama? We will have to see. Don't forget, actually, we can talk about tomorrow's games as well. Tomorrow, Champions League is back again. We'll be live at 7:45, same time as we were tonight. Tomorrow's games, we've got some stellar ones tomorrow. Some brilliant games. 2 early kickoffs. Besiktas against Dortmund, probably the standout of the 2. Should be a very good game indeed. And then Sheriff making their Champions League debut, the Moldovan side, against Shakhtar Donetsk. They're the 2 early kickoffs. And then tomorrow, I mean, we're very lucky. We're privileged there's 3 of us doing it because we get 2 games apiece, 2 very good games. Inter Milan against Real Madrid. What a game that one will be. Atletico Madrid against Porto. What a game that one will be. Club Brugge PSG. Maybe not the biggest of ties in terms of end-to-end, but seeing Messi in the Champions League in a PSG shirt, be a decent game. Liverpool Milan. I've got that one. That is the pick of the bunch tomorrow night. What a game that one's going to be, although Ibrahimovic is out, unfortunately. City Leipzig. What a game that one will be. And then Sporting Ajax. I think I like the look of that one as well. It should be a very, very tasty game indeed. And talking about tasty games, there's been a chance in one of Rowan's games. They've been quite tasty tonight. Which one was it?
It was Villarreal Atalanta, of course. And it was cross came in. And Jeremy Moreno went for a diving header, just completely missed, but a great opportunity. And then also Moranchuk has just come on, but a really good opportunity to make it 3, sorry. But Villarreal look trying to get a 3rd here. Very good chance indeed. Sorry, I was. Zenit nearly scored. Zenit had the chance. It was literally, it's a Juba sitter. Azmoun is inside the box. Juba is at the near post. Azmoun puts a really good ball in, and Juba tries to side foot it into the back of the net. Mendy was beaten, and he misses it. He misses an absolute. He's just a big off. It's a big off.
Oh, it's poor. It's poor. But thank you very much, Rowan. 2-1 in your game. It should be 1-1. It should be 1-1. And Mendy's actually gone down because I think he's taken a whack from the Juba chance, but it's a sitter for Juba. And a chance to redeem yourself after months of pain and just really, really bad spells with Zenit in terms of what's been going on in the background. But he's not been able to get himself what was a massive, massive equaliser. And I think that'll be the only chance Zenit gets. Still 1-0 somehow to Chelsea. As I think Chelsea are going to make a few changes here Thiago Silva's one of them that's going to come on. Ben Chilwell is going to come on too. Hasn't actually played since the Champions League final. He's going to come onto the pitch. Tuchel's saying he's fully fit now and ready, but I'm seeing that chance again. It was a great ball in from Azmoun. Perfect ball. And he's just stretching Juba. And a man of his height, you'd think the 6'6" Russian would get something on it. And he does, but it's not a good enough touch to put it into the back of the net and send the... well, I'm saying send the Russians into absolute disbelief, but I've got no idea if there is any Zenit fans in the stadium. So I'll say it'd send the Zenit fans at home into delirium had they have scored it. But it's not to be. It's not to be, unfortunately. 10 minutes left in the Champions League. Is there time for some late winners? Kiev Benfica still 0-0 in that game. But we're going to go over to KD because there's a dangerous free kick in one of his matches. Who's it for?
It's for Lille. It's in a very dangerous position. It's right on the edge of the box. It's Yazic is caught by Josh Gilavogi. He's on a yellow card, Gilavogi. Has to be careful. Wolfsburg can't afford to go down to 9 men with the last 10 minutes, as someone's just got a yellow card in the Barca Bayern game. But Yilmaz does have the chance. Right on the edge of the box. 20 metres out. It's literally on the line, maybe just outside the line of the box. It's going to have to be some free kick if this goes in. He's just going to have to go up and just whack it straight through the wall, I think. But, of course, we've seen him do this for his country. And it's the awkward time between when he hits the ball and the silence between him hitting the ball and the back of the net, hopefully shaking. And here he goes. And it's into the wall. Anticlimactic, as always, Josh.
Thought we were going to get something from it, and we haven't. But do you think there is time for a winner? Who's looking the more likely of the sides? Obviously, Lille have got the extra man advantage. Are Wolfsburg having any chances, or are they happy with the point?
Oh, the ball just does come into the box from the corner. But I'd probably say Lille look the more likely to win. But like we spoke about half-time, there just seems to be like, even though they have got an extra man, just they just don't seem to be pushing as many people forward. I think we have got a goal in the other games, though, Josh, so I think you have to bring Rowan in.
We'll jump over very quickly before Rowan jumps in as well. Kiev are down to 10 men. Red card. Rowan, who's the goal for?
It's for Atalanta. It is Robin Gosens who puts it in. It was just switched across. Villarreal seemed to think it was a shot from outside the box by Ilicic. And then I think it was Remo Freuler who tries to turn it. He actually turns it straight into the path of a Robin Gosens. It was Moranchuk who, it was a miscontrol, but instead of miscontrolling, it goes to nothing. It actually falls straight to Robin Gosens, who's put it in the back of the net past Rule. It was Ilicic with the shot. Moranchuk accidentally flicks it on to Gosens. And it's 2-2 here with 8 minutes left. And the thing is, it's been such an even game. It's quite a fair result. It's a fair goal. And this is into 7.5 minutes left. Woo!
Drama. We'll have to see. Thank you very much, Rowan. Villarreal 2, Atalanta 2. I'm going to bring Rowan back in. Is there a chance?
There's a red card. It was the most casual. He just gave a yellow card to Coquelin, who was just pulled down Cooper Miners. And that's his second yellow within 10 minutes. The ref gave a yellow, and then he checked. He was like, "Oh wait, that's his second yellow." Came on as a sub. He was brought on to stop a red card, and he's got himself a red card. They're down to 10 men, and now it's Atalanta with a free kick, and it's a red card for Villarreal.
Bit of everything for you tonight. Four goals and a red card.
Dybala and Cuadrado are off. Ramsey and Kulusevski are on, but there's been a chance.
Thank you very much, Rowan. There has indeed. There's been a chance. By the way, the Kiev red card is actually not counted. They've taken it off. It went to VAR and checked it. So no red card in that game now. I was going to say there's been 5 red cards tonight. There's been 4. Let's go over to KD, though. Chance in one of his games. Who's it for? If he'd let me put him in. There we go.
Oh, it's 3-0. It's 3-0 to Bayern Munich, and it has been coming. I mean, Sabitz has just hit the side net, and that was the original chance that I was coming to you for. Gnabri's literally just hit the post, and it ricochets to Robert Lewandowski, who takes a couple of touches, smashes the ball. Ter Stegen can't keep it out. It's 3-0 Bayern Munich. And, I mean, they look very good, very strong against a very, very strong Barca side. But, I mean, Bayern Munich just cut straight through them. 3-0.
Unbelievable. Thank you very much, KD. 3-0 Bayern Munich. Well, they've been dismantled again, Barcelona, and 3 goals. I mean, what do you say? They are a ruthless side, aren't they, Bayern Munich? And again, they're in a position now where they are going to probably win. Well, I'm saying probably. They are definitely going to win that match. And Barcelona, again, poor from them tonight. 3-0, not the way you want to start the Champions League campaign at all. But obviously, quickly run through everything again. Villarreal conceded and gone down to 10 men. Which is a bonkers end to that game. It's looking like very, very good night for Owen in terms of goals and action. As I said, Kiev not down to 10 men. They are not giving it as a red card, and rightly so. It would have been the most stupid decision I've ever seen. I don't think there was anything in it in terms of the tackle from Shaparenko, who's on a yellow already. So Kiev are playing with 11 men. And then, of course, Bayern Munich 3-0 to the good. 3-0. Crazy. Crazy from Bayern Munich. Very good result indeed. Chris is in the chat. How are we doing, Chris? But Wrexham running away with the National League with another masterclass performance. Oh, wait, they lost 3-1. Still in 8th. 7 points behind on the automatic promotion spot. Never mind my mistake. You don't try and rattle the Wrexham fans again, Chris, because they'll come after you. You already tried rattling them with the Aaron Hayden stuff. Don't rattle them now they've lost 3-1 tonight, because they'll come back. If they get promoted at the back end of the season, they'll come at you again. They are ruthless people. But hope you're all good, Chris. Hope you're all good indeed. 5 minutes left, or less than 5 minutes of all the matches. Lots and lots of action in the last couple of minutes. A couple of goals going in. We've had 4 red cards on the day. 1 in the Villarreal game, 1 in Wolfsburg, 1 in the Sevilla match, and 1 in the Man United match. It has been red card central. The refs love to bring the red cards out. But I was going to say, actually, I thought for a second we were about to get a 5th red card, perfectly timed, in the Kiev-Benfica game, but no, ref hasn't given anything for it. There has been a change in the Villarreal match. Gaspar is come onto the pitch for Pedraza for the last couple of minutes of that match. But don't forget, as I said, if you are new to the channel and you have enjoyed it tonight, do leave a like and subscription. We have got more watch-along content to come. Drama in the last couple of minutes of these matches, and hopefully more drama to come tomorrow. So do leave a like and subscription if you have enjoyed it. We do the match days, we do the goal shows every single match day. So we've got one tomorrow. We've got the Europa League and the Conference League on Thursday, and then we're back again in 2 weeks' time. All fun and games, isn't it, with the Champions League? Yellow card in the Wolfsburg game. Van Bommel's gone into the book, probably for taking Baku off. Maybe the referee only realised 25 minutes later and booked him for that. But not going Wolfsburg's way tonight, is it, with the cards? As Chris says, he's just his usual self, as you always know me. You love to try and rattle people, Chris. And then Chris says, sorry, not being commented, be watching other channels as well as yours at the same time. Can't believe it. Watching other people, Chris, it's shocking. I think there's been quite a serious injury in the Kiev-Benfica game. I don't know if I've missed something here. I'm going to have to see the replay back here of the tackle. It's quite a cruncher, if I'm going to be honest with you. One of the players is down. I want to try and find out who that player is who's gone down in the end. It was a cruncher of a tackle. I think it was Rafa who'd gone down in the end. I think he's been taken off in the end. I don't know what's going on there, but no card came out for it. But yeah, it was Rafa Silva. He's slowly limping off the pitch. It was a very rash tackle, but I don't think the ref's given any cards for it, which is a bit weird. But we are into additional time, or about to be, in the Chelsea Zenit game. 90 minutes. We've got 4 minutes of additional time. Can Zenit get an equaliser in this match? It would be a very dramatic equaliser if they could. Obviously, Chelsea still got time to go and get a second, and that's what we're going to try and do now, coming forward with Kovacic. As Tubbs is in the building. How are we doing, Tubbs? You got a few minutes left. He says, sorry he's late. Don't apologise. Hope you're all good as always, Tubbs. Good to see you in the stream. How are you? But 4 minutes left of Chelsea Zenit. Can Zenit get that important equaliser, or will Chelsea start with 3 points on the board? Is there going to be any late drama? As Chelsea, as you would expect, just holding possession now. They are counting down the seconds until the referee blows the whistle at Stamford Bridge and gives them the top of the table position that they so for. Actually, no, sorry, it wouldn't be top of the table. It'd be second because Juve would go top. But the 3 points that they thoroughly deserve. Here is Reece James on the right wing. He's just going to hesitantly go towards the corner flag, decides not to in the end. Comes back to him again, Reece James, the far right-hand side of the right wing. Havertz back to James. And they are just going to play it round and slowly pass the couple of minutes left on the clock here. Kiev Benfica is in additional time as well. 3 minutes of additional time in that one. Still 0-0. As Tubbs says, 3-0 win, but why do I feel like we didn't have a good game? Or are my standards that high? I'd have probably said, I think you've got the rights for the standards to be high as a Bayern fan, but to score 3 goals against Barcelona and for you to still not feel like it was a good performance just tells you how ruthless they are. And that's credit to them, as I don't know how Kiev haven't scored a last-minute winner here. I mean, I'm gobsmacked at this. I think there's about 4 players on the floor right now in absolute disbelief of how they've not scored. I need to see a replay of this because it was like pinball. The ball was just moving left, right, and centre. So I'm seeing a cross. Ball's played in on the left wing from Kiev. I don't know which player it is specifically. The number 7, he heads it out. It's a long-range effort taken on which hits the bar, comes back to one of their players, who takes the shot on the number 7 with the initial striker. The goalkeeper, Vlachodimos, saves it. It comes back out to another Kiev player, who then hits the post. It ricochets off at Otamendi, of course, who else? And very nearly went into the back of his own net. Bonkers. And they should have scored again. They've had another chance. So all the drama coming in the Kiev game rather than the Chelsea one. Another chance this time from Kiev. It was a corner whipped in. It was an effort this time for Harmash, who's come onto the pitch. Good save from Vlachodimos to tip it over the bar. Are we going to get a late winner? You feel like here Kiev are knocking on the door. There's 60 seconds left for the Ukrainians to put themselves maybe to second place. Corner's whipped in. It's going to come towards the edge of the box. It's on the left wing. Ball lobbed into the box. There is a chance and there is a goal. And just like that, Kiev have scored the last-minute winner. And the Kiev fans are going absolutely mental. And the player that scored it, I'm pretty sure it was Bialski. And it's a deserved goal. It's a very deserved goal. And Kiev have taken the lead. But let's go over to Rowan because there's been a chance in one of his games. Who's it for?
Oh! Well, the chance was actually in the game that I've completely forgot about, which was Malmo-Juventus, and it was just Moise Keane, who's actually had a decent start coming on. I know it's Malmo, but he just had a shot. It was a great save by Diawara. More importantly, in this game, Atalanta had a chance. Good crossing by Zappacosta, not headed. On the other side, we came back from a highlight. Gerard Moreno inside the box, goes shot on his left foot. He's deflected. Villarreal have a corner. The time is up. We've just hit 3 minutes now. They're 3 minutes at a time. The cross comes in. It's saved. I thought it was in. That's a great save by Musso. That's an incredible save. Parejo whips it in. And that's a great header into the bottom right. And Musso, keep this going. I need like 3 more corners. Keep this going. But it was Jan Moreno who won the header.
Just going to say VAR is checking the Kiev goal. This might not actually stand. As Tubbs says, Rowan.
Hi, Tubbs. No. I've packed on the pounds. I can see. My hair's longer. That's why it's all back. But bar that. But I appreciate it. See, so do you, Tubbs. Can't see you, but I just imagine full time here in both games.
Thank you very much, Rowan. Bring you back in a second. The goal stands. Oh, no, it doesn't. The goal doesn't stand. Anthony Taylor, I'm very confused. The scoreline is still saying 1-0. I think the goal hasn't stood. As far as I'm aware, it's been ruled out. Yeah, it has. Kiev have not scored a last-minute winner. It was Shaparenko, the man who should have been... I'm saying should have been. He shouldn't have been. But could have been sent off. VAR stopped that. The goal has been disallowed. Shaparenko was offside in the build-up to the goal. And the referee's blown the whistle. And Shaparenko, who thought he'd scored the winning goal in the last seconds of the match, he's given us offside, and it's full time in that game between Kiev and Benfica. And the Ukrainian, he is offside. It is a very, very good decision from VAR. He's actually quite far offside when you look at it. But Kiev, no goal in the last seconds to beat Benfica. And what a big result it could be for both sides. It keeps them in the balance for the fight for the Europa League spots. Obviously, full time in the game between Bayern Munich and Barca. Bayern Munich 3-0 win. Dominant performance from them. We'll obviously talk to Katie in a little moment's time. Rowan games as well are at full time. Juve with a 3-0 win. And Villarreal and Atalanta drawing 2-2. Atalanta did have the extra man advantage, but not for a great deal of time. Just looking at the chat very quickly, Peter is in the building. Everybody's coming in late. Where have you all been? How are you doing? How are you doing, Peter? Oh, you're good as always. Carl did say, well done, Kiev. Getting late goal, surely win now. It's not a win. It didn't even count. As Tubbs is saying, he's good. And Chris saying that the Joker was in the building. Well, you haven't got long to talk with the Joker because there's only about 5 or 10 minutes of this stream left. But full time in the Chelsea game, and the defending champions have won. Chelsea 1-0 win against St. Petersburg. The all-important player, Romelu Lukaku, the big-time man, scores the winning goal in that game. Look, wasn't a vintage Chelsea performance. Wasn't a great one at all, if I'll be honest with you. But they have got 3 points on the board. Zenit St. Petersburg, they had a couple of chances in the game. Juba missed a sitter. They could have walked away with a point in this game. But in the end, Chelsea do get 3 points on the board. Very, very good result indeed. And then, as I said before, Kiev Benfica 0-0. Good result for Benfica, considering they could have conceded in the last minute. We'll bring Rowan in and we'll go through his games. Lost Lille was still going on. There was 6 minutes of additional time. So by the time we've spoke about Rowan's games, that one should be done. But Rowan,
yeah,
goals galore tonight for you.
I was very lucky. We'll start off with I can't believe saying the worst game of them both because it was 3 goals. But Malmo, for a quarter of this game, I had to do the maths, looked like they could have really got a point from this game, even a win. Cholak and Bredomencevic looked quite dangerous, and as I said, Berger on the overlap, but they just collapsed. The 1 point on Malmo side, who I will give credit to, who didn't give up that entire game, was Christensen in the midfield, and he, bless him, he tried to carry that team through when there were 3, literally from minute 1. But yes, Alexandra with that goal that really cancelled out the game. Dybala with the penalty, and then Alvaro Morata in the other half time. Boring second half, no goals for that. Couple of chances. I think Juventus will be happy with Moise Kean. Obviously, he's back now after his multiple his time away. But yeah, good to see him back. He played well. Weston McKennie, I think. He showed signs of why they wanted him, but he had a couple of moments. I think if they really have to settle on him now, he'll have to have a couple of performances, but definitely he showed the makings of a great player for them. On the other side, the Atalanta Villarreal game, what a game that was. I mean, Atalanta took the lead within 6 minutes. Trigueros equalised nearly end of the half. Then we had Danjuma winning it for Villarreal. Robin Gosens then equalised. Then literally a minute later, Coquelin gets sent off after being brought on to stop a red card. Villarreal then hold on, and then it looks like they're going to lose. They go on the other side, nearly score. Great game. Both teams gave, I mean, man of the match, I think Dyer, I think it's pronounced Dyer, in it? The striker for Villarreal. Dyer, he looked out of his depth there, and I don't know whether that's just because not enough playing time with this side. I don't know. He really wasn't linking up with Moreno and Jeremy Pino. But Moreno, obviously, he was the star man for them. Danjuma, when he came on, but a very good game. Very good game indeed.
Oh, going up to KD. Penalty. Who for?
In the last second of the game, we are talking 5 minutes, 59 seconds of 6 minutes added time. Lille have been awarded a penalty. Now, the referee is still checking it. Gilavogi is the man that's given the penalty away. He's already been booked. So he might be getting sent off as well. We are into the 7th minute of added time. The referee has given it as a free kick right on the edge of the box. No penalty. Foul outside the penalty area. That must have been what they were checking. But surely now they've got to see that Gilavogi made the foul. No, he's not getting sent off. But it's a free kick, wide left-hand side of the of the penalty area. We are almost into the 8th minute of added time. This has to be the last action of the game. I wasn't even paying attention. I looked up and Yilmaz were putting the ball at the penalty spot. I thought the game was over. But no, I mean,
hit this and score. This would send him into delirium, wouldn't it?
Match.
It's a very awkward angle for him to hit it from, I think. But you know what Yilmaz is like. This is going top bins, isn't it?
Let's hope so. Fingers crossed.
Well, he's still kicking the spot up.
Channel your inner Jeremy Lynch. Get some swaz on it.
It's got to be something good. He's stepping over it. It's Barak Yilmaz. A lot of men in the box. And he's still not hit it yet. Here he goes. Hits it, and I think his own player headed that wide.
Oh.
And that is full time. And the Wolfsburg players, fair play to them, hugging each other. They know that's a big point. Not the easiest place to go, Lille, of course, but it's a good point for Wolfsburg considering the consequences. It's a very poor second half, though, I think, from both sides, ultimately.
And you can look at it as well and say if you're Sevilla and Salzburg, nobody's gained any advantage of that group. All on 1 point. They're all going to be on equal par for the next match day. Obviously, they'll be the most disappointed because they could have easily had they had the extra man advantage and could have won it. But it's a shame about that game in terms of not having any goals. But the Barca Bayern one, would you agree with Tubbs? He said he thought he was a. Let me get the comment up. Let me see where it is. He said it was. I will find it. I will get there. Are my standards high? 3-0 win, but why do I feel like we didn't have a good game? Would you agree?
The thing is, when Barcelona are even out at the best and they can beat Bayern Munich, when Bayern Munich are at the best and they can beat Barcelona 3-0, that says quite a lot, I think. But yeah, I wouldn't say it was their best performance. I mean, I think Tubbs was right. He has a right to have his standards very high after what he's seen for the last couple of years. But we watched Bayern Munich absolutely decimate Barcelona about a year and a half ago. And honestly, it was kind of a similar thing in that second half because Barcelona just couldn't get near the ball. And every time Bayern Munich come forward, they looked like they were going to score. But ultimately, I think 3-0 is probably a fair scoreline. And I think Barcelona now have got a massive task on their hands.
They have indeed. And that is all of the 6 games tonight. An interesting night across the board. Some good games in there. Villarreal Atalanta, probably the standout match. Obviously, Bayern Munich with the 3-0 win. A couple of crappy ones in there. Kiev Benfica didn't have much going on. Chelsea was a little bit quiet. But tomorrow, it is a very, very good day. As I said, it's me, Rowan, and KD again tomorrow. We've both got 2 games each. And, well, it's going to be quite interesting to see who watches who. Obviously, Besiktas Dortmund and Sheriff Shakhtar the early games. Rowan, Dortmund. What's going to happen?
We're going to go to Besiktas, aren't we? I'll go 3-1 Dortmund.
Ooh.
I'm going to go for a bold one. I'm going to go Marlon hat trick. I've got a vibe.
Ooh.
That's
I don't know why. I think he will.
Actually, yeah, you've got a lot of injuries, haven't you? So yeah,
we're crucified.
Probably
it's all right.
I don't think you've got much of a choice to play certain players with the injury list you've got.
It's incredible. No, maybe not Marlon Hatch. Maybe that's a bit too ambitious, but hopefully it's a win. Hopefully it is. But you can't trust us this season so far. You really can.
I feel like it was kind of a similar thing last season, wasn't it? But in Europe, they were really consistent, Dortmund. They were really good. So it could be that sort of thing. I think they should comfortably beat Besiktas. No disrespect to Besiktas, but Dortmund should have enough for them. And in the other game, I think that's going to be a really interesting one because, of course, Sheriff got a lot to prove, but Shakhtar are kind of like the Champions League regulars that kind of get brushed aside when they're spoken about. They've probably got one of the best European pedigrees out of all the lesser sides in the competition, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think for Sheriff, it's just going to be a great occasion to be the first Moldovan team ever to make it to the UCL. And then tomorrow night, as we said, 6 games tomorrow. This is probably I wouldn't say the easiest choice in terms of games, but we've got a very nice bunch. There's no really bad game in there. Tomorrow from 8 o'clock, Inter Milan, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid against Porto, Club Brugge against PSG. That's probably the weakest, but even then, you're still watching Messi in the Champions League. Liverpool, Milan, which will be the standout game tomorrow. I'm going to be covering that one. Man City, Leipzig, that could be a cracker. And then Sporting Ajax, I think that is a hipster's dream game in terms of that match. So that's from 8 o'clock tomorrow with myself, Rowan, and KD. Across the rest of the week, we'll start at about 7:45 tomorrow because kickoff's at 8 o'clock. For the rest of the week, we've got the Europa League and Conference League. Me and Rowan are going to be doing the early games from 5:35. Slavia Prague and Berlin is one of the standout games. And then probably myself, Katie, and Rowan will be doing the later games as well for the Conference League and the Europa League. And then next week's league action, Valencia Real Madrid on Sunday at 10-8, top of the table clash between two very good sides in Spain. And then on Tuesday, Fiorentina against Inter Milan in Serie A, another corker of a game. Hopefully, should have plenty of goals indeed. But very quickly, before we do go, if you are new to the stream, as always, don't forget to leave a like and subscription if you are new to the channel. And if you want to see when we go live, as always, links are in the description and in the chat with Kyle. Very nice to always put them in. Very kind of you. Peter and Chris, they're just going on it in the chat.
As always.
Usually do. I'll not put that one up on the screen, Tubbs. I think you know what KD's thoughts on the loss would be. But for now, thank you very much to all of you guys that have joined. We will be back tomorrow, as I said, 7:45, same time. We'll go through all the lineups and everything for the 6 games. But thank you very much to Rowan. Thank you very much to KD.
Thank you, Josh.
Cheers, and we will see you all tomorrow at 7:45. Good night.
Bye.